Going to start with the quarterback. It was sort of a competition in the preseason and during the summer between the junior Keegan Sullivan and the senior Jack Albers. And Jack Albers has won the job, and he showed why in the scrimmage against Simon Kenton last week.
He did. He started a couple games early last year when Desmond Ritter had some off-the-field problems, and did a nice job for a guy who'd never really played in a varsity football game. And, boy, he looked sharp. The offense looked really sharp in the scrimmage against a pretty good time, supposedly a good Simon Kenton team. But what Albers really showed in that game, and talking to Coach Walsh, his leadership, but, man, he looked a lot quicker. They would run that ball behind that big offensive line, and then he'd pull it out, and all of a sudden he'd take off with it. And, boy, he scored on a couple of touches. First 3 drives, he scored on 2 of them.
Brett Metzmeyer will be the senior running back. He got a lot of reps last year. He was hampered with some injuries last year, but he is running behind the strength of the offense, and that's that offensive line. Talk about those guys.
Well, they expect a big year from Coach Wolford. Expects that. Wyatt Smock is a 6'4", 285-pound offensive guard who is a diver used to be on the diving team, and just a super player. We'll see him probably play a little bit of nose tonight, but he is really athletic, can pull and get out, and he's committed to Vanderbilt. And then there's Chase Ferris, who's 325 pounds, 6'5", offensive tackle. He's committed to Tennessee Martin. Clayton Six, the center, has gotten offers from Moorhead, and Coach Wolford thinks he'll get a lot. And they average about 275 across there. Canaday and Curley will be on there too, but that will be the strength of the team, is that offensive line.
And we expect an explosive offense.
We do, and Jack Albers, like we said, play action passes through it pretty well. Got a group of receivers that are really good receivers, so I think as the season goes on, you'll see the Tigers put it up a little more early in the game, but I think they'll try to establish the run and then throw off of the run.
The question mark on this team, to start the season anyway, is going to be the defense. They've got to stop the run, which we're not sure how well they're going to do that. In the past, got some new defensive backs there. Cameron Garrett was moved from wide receiver to safety because of the lack of depth in the secondary. He will start tonight. So defensively, what are the coaches looking for tonight?
Well, I think they have to play as a unit, and they'll have to get to the ball. You'll have to stay in your responsibilities, because if the corners struggle and the safeties come up, you'll get beat deep. But the Tigers did not start very well against Simon Kenton last week defensively. Simon Kenton ran the ball a little bit early, and then they threw it really well. But I think this Cathedral team, they'll be carried by one guy that's going to go to Notre Dame, and I tell you, he's going to be a good one. So the Tigers are really going to have to look up and see what Marquise Stepp, and they're going to find out early if they're going to be able to stop the run.
Stepp was hampered with an injury all of last year, a hamstring problem, but he is 100% now. And again, as you said, Notre Dame, one of 5 Division I prospects or signees or commitments on this Irish football team. They are solid all around.
Yeah, they are, John. And one thing you'll see, I talked to their play-by-play guy over here. Said, Stepp will carry them on offense. They have a sophomore quarterback in Roman Purcell, who's a transfer. Actually, hasn't even played in the program until this year. So they're learning there. But he said their strength, too, is their offensive line, and they're huge. I mean, St. X is huge, too. These 2 offensive lines, I think both coaches feel like they can control this game, because defensively, he told me the weakness right now for Cathedral is their defensive line. They're all new guys. Now, their linebackers all come back, and they're all Division I players. So it'll be interesting how that goes. But the Tiger defense is going to be tested early, and I think that the Fighting Irish from Indianapolis Cathedral will be tested early, too.
Cathedral was a 6A last few years. They actually have won 12 state titles, 7 in the last 11 years up in Indiana in the higher class. They moved down to 5A this year. They actually have an enrollment for a 4A school, but they have opted to play up in 5A, and they are ranked number 1 easily in Indiana in 5A.
Yeah, and they're 4 overall, or 5, matters which ones you look at. So yeah, they're still playing a 6A schedule, and they travel and play they play on the road most of the year. So a test for them, and coming down here first week, and hopefully the Tigers will stand up well against the Irish.
Let's talk about the Tigers' schedule while we have a chance. It is odd this year, to say the least. We're starting here tonight, then a bye week in this is actually week 0 according to the schedule, but week 1 will be a bye week. Will Wolford told me yesterday he's just happy we don't have a bye week in week 0, which is usually what the Tigers have had.
Yeah, that's not a week. Everybody's biting at the bit to get out here, and everybody plays, and you're sitting at home, and then you play the games all the way through. and you don't get a break. And I think, most teams would rather have it late in the year, but it's hard to schedule that way because a lot of teams that St. X would schedule are smaller schools that wouldn't want to play St. X going into the playoffs. So it's the way it works out, but it is odd this year how it works out with a lot of games. The end-loaded part of it are the home games.
September 1st, 2 weeks from tonight, Tigers will make their lone trip out of the city to take on Bowling Green, the 5A defending state champions. They have the longest winning streak in Kentucky, but they're a little down as well, Tony. I was reading some stuff about the Purples today, a whole lot of new guys. They lost some really talented players. So if you're going to get the Purples and Kevin Wallace's team, maybe early in the year is the way to do it. And they will be at PRP next week while the Tigers are off, so St. X will have an excellent chance to go out and scout out at the Ridge next week.
Yeah, but they just reload down there too. But expected to be they're the 5A favorite this year coming in. So always a great test and going back there, like you said, again this year to even out the schedule. And
then on the 8th of September, the only home game for a long time, the Fairdale Bulldogs come in here to Brother Thomas More Stadium. And then the Tigers hit the road at Central, at Pleasure Ridge Park, a district game, Trinity at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium on the 29th, traditionally the last Friday. They try to have it the last Friday in September. And then at Manual, another district game on the 6th. So you're away from home for 4 consecutive weeks.
Yeah, and
you don't see that very often.
Yeah, and Papa John's is kind of a neutral home game. But, yeah, normally that point of the season you at least have it broke up. But the schedules kind of came out weird with 5 teams in your district and then having to reschedule some games and back and forth.
And then 3 home games to end the regular season, Male, Butler, and Cincinnati St. X. Again, one of those games that you hate to play in your last game. Cincinnati St. X hates to play it too, but you got to find somebody to play, and nobody wants to get banged up going into the playoffs, so that's why they have to play each other.
Yeah, and it is, as long as you get out, unscathed injury-wise, it's a game getting you ready for the games. Cincinnati St. X, who beat the Tigers last year, and went on to win a state championship, as did Bowling Green, and as did St. X's other 2 losses to Trinity. So 4 losses last year by the Tigers were all to state champions last year.
First opener here at St. X since 2014. The Tigers beat Ballard that year. It was an interesting game because Friday night the game was stopped because of lightning, and then it was picked up on Saturday afternoon. They got to halftime. St. X led Ballard 17-0, and then the heat index was so high for the next couple of hours they just called it. St. X wins 17-0. Crazy game, and I know you missed the Saturday portion. I had Mike Glazer up here with me.
Yeah, I was here Friday night, and then I had to go out of town, and I listened to the first half where I was at until it ended. But, the other part, one of the reasons I firmly believe the Tigers aren't going to Lexington, it was a doubleheader. We've had heat problems early, doubleheader. You get there early in the heat, and then if you play late, you might not. We started like at 9:30 or quarter to 10 the one night. So I think A.D. Allen Donhoff said, look, let's just play a game. Let's don't worry about all the other things that go with a doubleheader.
We will take our first break of the season. Jennifer Washley from the Bissig Impact Group will join us, talk about some stuff going on at the Impact Group, and also a big event coming up on Labor Day weekend. We'll take our first break. You're listening to St. X High School Football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hello, everybody. This is Larry Bissig. Thank you for listening to the St. X Tigers on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. And don't forget to tune in to Louisville First, our morning show on weekdays 7 to 10 a.m. on 790 a.m. These broadcasts are just an example of the vast marketing communication services we offer at the Bissig Impact Group. Give us a call at 583-0333 or visit Bissig.com. The Bissig Impact Group. Innovative, integrated marketing.
Let's see, I need to replace the microwave, so I'll stop by Bargain Supply. We need a new shovel and garden gloves. I'll get those at Bargain Supply. Oh, and light bulbs. Bargain Supply for those, too. Well, this should be an easy trip.
Bargain Supply has 60,000 square feet of merchandise, so you can find and save on everything you need in one easy stop. Save on appliances, electronics, tools, and more at Bargain Supply, 844 East Jefferson in Nulu, downtown Louisville.
Are you thinking of taking a cruise or quick weekend escape? Knights Travel can meet all your travel needs. Knights Travel is Louisville's premier full-service travel agency specializing in customized vacation. For more information, visit knightstravel.com or contact St. X alum Lou Conklin at 292-4750 or Kaylin Ryback at 292-4749. Fly by Knights. It's the best way to travel.
Hey, St. X fans. Want to learn more about how your eyes work? It's
Hey guys, are you there?
Eye Care Institute.
Again this year.
Sorry, we're here.
Dr. Brennan.
Okay, no.
We just turned our mics down because we're streaming,
Green
and during
and the doctors at the Eye
commercials,
Care
I think they can still hear us if we're
Institute
talking.
Just wanted to make sure it went silent. I got nervous.
Dr. Green at the Eye Care Institute.
We don't want to say anything wrong,
Visit Eye Care Institute.
which is it's a good chance that'll happen.
1500.
At the end of this.
All right. Back at Brother Thomas More Stadium, John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman will be down on the field. Todd Powers, we had to beg him, but he's back on stats.
Woo woo.
We're about 13 minutes away from kickoff. Home opener, season opener for the Tigers as they take on the Fighting Irish from Indianapolis. Cathedral, two powerhouse programs getting together for the opener. I'm joined by Jennifer Washley from the Bissig Impact Group. How many years is this? It's a bunch.
Oh, for me? With you?
For this thing. It's
gosh. I don't know.
21, 22,
no,
something like that.
I think it's 24, 25.
Yeah, and I've been involved since '97, so it's
Yeah.
it's
I think
a
we're
long
pushing
time.
25.
We should have some sort of 25th celebration in the
Yeah,
next
they were
couple of
going to
years.
do that at halftime today. They just forgot to tell us.
They forgot. Well, we'll have to have our own little celebration when the game's over.
That's right.
How are you, first of all? You know, we prayed for you all year last year on the radio, basketball, football, even the baseball game, and I think our prayers were answered, right?
Yes, I was declared in remission in April, and that was confirmed again in July. Obviously, I was gone.
Doing my happy dance. That's
Yeah,
why
I
she's
know.
laughing.
It's very pretty. You all should see it.
I hope it's not on the internet.
So, yeah, I went through the stem cell transplant over at Duke, which was, needless to say, one of the most, I don't even know what to say.
Harrowing.
Yeah. I thought I knew everything that I was getting into. I was like, I got this. And then I got in the middle of it, and I'll never forget one day, I just felt so horrible because you had to go to clinic or the hospital every day. And I looked at them, and I was like, I quit. And they're like, you're our best patient. You can't quit. I'm like, no, really, I quit. I'm going back to Kentucky. And they're like, you can't quit in the middle.
Yeah.
So I finished
I think
out.
they're right, by the way.
Yeah, you can't, because then you really would not be here. So I finished that out and came back home. It was a long 3 months to be gone, but came back and was lucky enough that I felt good to come back into work, which I work while I was over there as well, but got back into work and started our festival season, which part of the other thing that I do at Bissig, besides the sports radio programming, is our
But we're number one.
of course.
Yeah.
Our 3 music festivals, reggae in May and blues and barbecue in July, and our next upcoming event, the Kentucky Music and Bourbon Experience, which will take place on Labor Day weekend. We did something a little different this year. On the Saturday, September 2nd, we're going to have all day of bluegrass bands, and then on Sunday we're having Mood Ring Engagement, Tony and the Tan Lines, and the Louisville Crashers. So we're really excited about that. On Sunday. So we know a lot of people are going up to Indy on Saturday.
Right.
We will have the game in the bourbon tasting tent at the main bar. So if you want to come out, listen to music, and watch the ball game, we will have it on. But if you can't because you're up in Indy, come on down on Sunday. We open up at 4 o'clock. And you can find all the information out about the festival at KentuckyMusicandBourbonExperience.com.
It's 4 to 11 on Saturday and Sunday, Labor Day weekend, free parking. Bring your lawn chairs, bring your blankets. There will be plenty of music,
yes,
and plenty of bourbon,
and food and drink,
and plenty of experience.
That's right. Bring it
going on.
Yeah, bring a blanket, bring a lawn chair for sure.
Four Roses Bourbon, Kroger, two of the big sponsors there, and get out there. It's a lot of fun.
You're gonna be there.
I'm gonna be there.
I mean,
I'm gonna have my own table set up.
Yeah,
where
VIP.
every autograph I give you, I
Yeah.
drink some bourbon, so it should be fun.
So I do want to talk about. We're gonna get in trouble
Yeah, we
talking
are.
all this bourbon. Of course, as always, we do have a few spots left. If you want to become a sponsor, you can contact me over at the office at 583-0333. And, of course, if I figure out who you are, I will come and find you to talk about
Absolutely.
packages we have available to be a sponsor of the broadcast. It should be a great season. It's so fun, living my life at the other school growing up and being over here for 20 years or so now. I love each year doing this. People don't get it, everything with the broadcast, and I've learned so much about sports radio programming, so I'm very thankful that I get the opportunity to do this here. And I've made so many great friendships. I mean, think about it. You and I wouldn't know each other, and where would your life be without me?
I can't imagine. I
Yeah.
don't even want to think about it.
That's right. But it's so cool to look through the roster and see these kids that are on here. My cousin Lisa, her son is Ty Bentley, number 25. I believe the Masterson.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
I'm sure.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The Miners, of course, that's like being a Washley. It's either you're a Miners or a Washley. You're all related. And then, of course,
Varga.
Yeah, the Vargas, and then Sean Kennedy, a guy that I ran around with in high school. His son plays.
Nick, starting offensive lineman.
Yeah, and Andrew Yules, his Aunt Kim, is my next door neighbor, and so we're big buds. And I love her dad and family; they're great people. So good luck to Andrew. I know he's been doing great.
He is, yeah, fantastic.
And of course, Will too. I consider Will a friend, and Alan Donhoff, and everybody here at St. X. So it's a great thing to be a part of, and I hope they have a great season.
Well, I know Todd, Jim, Tony, and I are happy to be back for another year. Wouldn't trade it for anything.
Well, I have to save the best for last. You got to bring that up.
I did. I just did.
I know you did, but I wanted to say it. I do want to thank you guys.
You thank us way too much.
Todd, I really want to thank you for coming back and having to put up with all of us. I know it's a struggle. Jim Brinkman, for all that you do and being so resourceful and looking at useless knowledge for us to talk about on the radio when we need other things to discuss besides what's going on in the football game.
Which is about 7 minutes away, so we're going to let you go.
Okay, bye.
Jennifer Washley from the Bissig Impact Group. Don't forget the Music and Bourbon Experience at the Water Tower Labor Day, Saturday and Sunday, Labor Day weekend, 4 to 11. Get out there. Tigers taking the field. It is patriotic night here, so all the students in the Rage Cage dressed in red, white, and blue, pulling for their green and gold. We'll come back with more. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Do you need to go outside your house
Let's
to
see.
cool down?
I got one more segment, Tony.
We need something just to,
It'll be quick.
A bag or something just for right now to give it a little bit of elevation.
15 months on any qualified new Train comfort system purchased by August 31st.
You got a big head. You do got a big head.
Remember, it's hard to stop a train. Ask DFH about their expert service team, qualified to
That'll work,
repair
John.
any make or model.
You got it?
Call DFH
She got it? Okay.
It's enough. It's enough for now to be able to see it.
DFHcompany.com
Oh, yeah, that's
for
good.
complete
Let's
program
see.
eligibility, dates, details.
That's a terrible call.
There are few things that truly inspire, like seeing young athletes succeed. With this in mind, we've created the Courier Journal Sports Awards.
Just remember
We're
we're
honoring
still on.
Athletes of the Week for Metro Louisville and Southern
Can we get it
Indiana
mounted
all
up there?
season long, naming all area teams for over 2 dozen sports, and capping off the year with a red carpet awards show with a celebrity guest speaker. This season, nominate and vote for Athletes of the Week
Just check.
at CourierJournal.com.
That's good,
I
Tony.
don't want it to fall, though. I'm
God,
afraid
how
it's,
spoiled are
Few
we?
I'm
things
afraid
that
it's gonna
truly
slide.
inspire, like
That's my
seeing young
concern.
athletes succeed.
I want this.
With
I'm
this
more
in
worried
mind,
about
the
this.
Courier Journal created the Kentuckiana Sports Awards presented by Norton Sports Health.
Actually,
We're honoring Athletes of the Week for Southern Indiana and Metro
You want to
Louisville
pull that
all
up, too,
season
so
long,
these guys back here
naming
can
all
see.
area teams for more than a dozen sports, and capping
Those
off
guys
the
from
year with a red
Cathedral
carpet banquet in
gonna look
June.
out these windows.
Vote for this week's Athlete of the Week at the
Sorry about that
CourierJournal.com
if that's
sports
bright,
page.
but it'd be gone.
don't matter. It's going to be. We're going to do it.
For over 20 years, Signs Now has been Metro
Wanna
Louisville's
open that
go-to
window?
source
Yes, sir.
for custom signs and banners. Vehicle lettering, trade show displays, lighted signs, you name it. We deliver durable,
We gotta
high-impact
shut that
graphics
door
and
is what
quick
we have
to do.
service.
It's not that windy. It'll be all right.
Signs Now
No, it is
the
windy.
choice for all
Believe
your
me,
sign
wind's really
needs.
blowing.
I just knocked the TV
Just
off.
ask
what I'm
the
saying.
Bissig Impact Group. We're their official sign provider. For more information, call 502-491-8180 or visit us online at signsnow.com.
Is that okay there, Tom? Is that Bobby?
Events LLC designers are available to provide custom production and creative design services to coordinate your perfect event. Hosting a smaller gathering? Try their rental, installation, and delivery services. Events LLC has everything needed to facilitate your next event. Their 66,000 square foot warehouse is filled with unique props, linens, dance floors, and anything else you can think of. Call 583-5007 or visit eventsllc.com.
Back at Brother Thomas More Stadium. John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman. We are just about ready for kickoff. You heard the end of the national anthem there, so game time is right around the corner. We'll take one more break, come back with the opening kickoff. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
You've been listening to the Eye Care Institute pregame report. Stay right here for live play-by-play coverage of tonight's big game on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
When you're not cheering on your favorite team, you're ready to tackle that large job or weekend project, Sunbelt Rentals has the equipment you need. From hand tools to excavators, we've got you covered. And with more than 525 locations, we're sure to have one convenient to you. Whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or contractor, you can rely on the experts at Sunbelt Rentals. Call 1-800-NO-SWEAT or visit sunbeltrentals.com for a location nearest you. So what are you waiting for? Get it done. Rent it now.
You're listening to the exclusive coverage of the St. X Tigers and Jefferson County High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. This season's live play-by-play coverage is sponsored by the Eye Care Institute. Call St. X grad Dr. Brennan Green at 589-1500 or visit the website at eyecareinstitute.com. Nights Travel. Fly by nights. It's the best way to travel. Courier Journal. The Courier Journal. Now with expanded high school sports coverage. Sundays in print and at courier-journal.com. DFH. Call Don, Chris, or Alex Hinkabye at 968-6222.
Jim, you got me down there?
I do. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, you're good. I'm going to come to you as soon as we come back.
Or call 502-637-1212.
Tell me the weather. And
Yule Smock, Albers, and Netherton are the captains for St. X.
Who?
Yule Smock, Albers, and Netherton.
Okay.
We'll make your event extraordinary. Bissig Impact Group. Integrated, innovative marketing. Now let's go live to the field and join John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, and Todd Powers for tonight's big game.
Hello again, everyone, from Brother Thomas More Stadium on the campus of St. Xavier High School. John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, Todd Powers welcome you to our opener. The St. X Tigers open at home against the Indianapolis Cathedral Fighting Irish. Jim Brinkman was down there for the coin toss as we're just about ready to go. Jimmy?
St. X has won the toss and elected to receive, put that offense on the field immediately. Tonight's weather is 84 degrees. It's beautiful, not a cloud in the sky over me, and the wind is about 13 miles per hour, a little bit of wind up there. But St. Tigers, they look very, very anxious to get this game this season ready. Lot of optimism on this sideline.
And Tony, they need to be ready, but they don't need to be too ready.
No, you got to keep things in perspective early. Both teams, you don't want to get too wired up and make mistakes. And I know both teams pride themselves a lot on not making mistakes. Mistakes in this game, a big key to this game. But, boy, Tigers will get it first here, John. So the season getting ready to open up here in 2017.
Tyler Sylvia will kick it away for the Irish, ranked number 1 in Indiana in 5A. Two Tigers are deep. Cameron Garrett, I believe, Tony, that's Hayden Roadhouse. Kick is high and deep and well out of the back of the end zone, hit about 8 yards deep. And the Tigers will go on offense first. Jack Albers, 6'1", 175-pound senior. He's waited for his chance, and he'll get it right now as he brings his team to the line of scrimmage. Tigers wearing black jerseys with green numerals, Tony. That's going to make it a fun night for us. Yellow trim, white pants, and the traditional helmet. The Fighting Irish look like Notre Dame. White jerseys, navy blue numerals, gold pants, gold helmets. Shotgun for Albers to start. He's got Brett Metzmeyer back there with him. And Jack Varga is the H-back. He switches to the left, 2 that way. In motion is Dominic Algar, wanting to throw it deep down the middle. He's got a man. It's caught at the 45 to the 50, 45, and tackled at the 40-yard line. That is Will Crum, the senior, first catch of the game.
Well, the Tigers show run right there. They run the man in motion, fake it. Albers pulls it out and hits the big play on first down.
Crum and Ben Mueller now go wide to the left. Algar comes back to the right. Metzmeyer and an offset I next to Albers. 1st and 10, Tigers at the 40. Allgaier in motion again. This time they fake it to him, give it to Metzmeyer up the middle. He is hit and dropped by one of those stud linebackers. Jackson Barrow, the Toledo commitment, came through, made the hit, gain of a couple to the 38.
Well, the Tigers will go no huddle, but they'll look to the sideline and get the play. And they fake the read right there to the strong side and get a couple there on first down.
Same personnel. This time Mueller and Allgaier to the right. Metzmeyer in motion. Quarterback draw. Allgaier hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped right there. That's Barrow again. Coming from the linebacker spot, lost a yard. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Well, Barrow never left his middle linebacker spot, and when you're going to run a draw play with the quarterback, somebody's got to go out and block him, and all he did was shadow Albers. So the Tigers probably lose about a half a step right there, so now they put themselves in 3rd and long.
Will Ginter will come in as Metzmeyer goes to the sideline, so a passing down on 3rd and 9. You're going to see Ginter. Crum alone to the right, 3 receivers to the left. Little confusion here. Albers now ready to go. In the shotgun in an empty backfield. Vargas back there to help block. Throw over the middle, open, caught at the 28, spinning out of a tackle, and a great catch that time. That is Ben Mueller. A little high, Tony, but he brought it in on a first down on 3rd and 9.
Well, Mueller and Crum both lifted at 6'4". It's a little out, but Mueller cuts it off and comes back, and boy, Albers put it on a line right there, John. And a nice play by Mueller, and the Tigers move the ball down to the 23-yard line of the Irish here. Early in the football game, 1st and 10.
Gain of 16 on 3rd and 9. 2 to the left, that's the short side of the field, 2 to the right as well. Inside handoff this time, Metzmeyer hit and dropped. That's Barrow again, a gain of a yard for Brett Metzmeyer.
Well, I can already see what's happening here. The defense for Cathedral, they're spread out, but the linebackers are staying inside. They have good, quick guys, and somebody's got to get out there. The linebackers have made the tackles on the run so far, so we'll see what the Tigers do here on 2nd and 9.
Varga back in as Ginter comes out. Now Ben Seeger will come in, the wide receiver, and Metzmeyer will go out. So Tigers going with 4 receivers on this play.
And John Varga's a guy who will catch the ball out of the backfield too, so don't forget about him.
Offensive line left to right for the Tigers, all seniors. Aaron Curley, Wyatt Smock, Clayton Six, Nick Cannaday, and Chase Ferris. 2nd down and 9. Albers wants to throw, short throw, caught, slipping out of a tackle is Seeger. Just getting enough of him is George Kirch, listed as an outside linebacker, but he was at the corner on that play. Gain down to about the 16-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 3 for the Tigers.
Just a little quick one out there to Seeger, and Seeger fights and tries to get away from him, but he gets him down. So look at 3rd and 3 from the Cathedral 16-yard line, right at 9 minutes here left in the first quarter.
Crum and Mueller wide to the right. 2 H-backs in now, and Metzmeyer gets the call up the middle, fights his way for a first down, and he's got it as he crosses the 18, which is where he had to get. And got to the 17-yard line. Needed 3, got 4. It's a first down for the Tigers in the green zone.
Well, you got to get it in here now. You've moved it all the way down the field. Nice passing. They're mixing it up, but the plays have been the pass plays that have actually moved the Tigers down here.
8:45 to go. Opening drive of the game. Tigers with a 1st and 10 at the 12. In motion is Allgaier. This time they give it to him, running left. Metzmeyer just didn't block the guy that was coming through. And that was Dylan Stewart, who made a tackle in the backfield. Brett saw somebody else he wanted to block, and that allowed the tackler to come through and make the hit behind the line of scrimmage at the 15, a loss of 3 on the jet sweep.
Well, it was too long developing to Allgaier, and all the Irish did was stretch it out, and then they come up and the Tigers lose yardage on the play, 2nd and 3rd from the 15.
Offset out of the right. 2 receivers right. That's the wide side of the field. Quarterback run. That's an option. Pitch right to Metzmeyer. He's got some room to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, St. X Tigers. Just a little option right. And Brett Metzmeyer goes in from 15 yards out.
I'm going to take one of Jimmy's lines right here. Dominic Allgaier doing a nice job on the outside, throwing the block here. We have replay this year, but Allgaier down the field stays with his block. And then the Tigers go in for their first score of the 2017 year, 7:56 on the clock. Tigers lead 6-0 on their first possession.
And Matija in for the extra point. Good snap, good hold. It's up and good. 7:58 to go, first quarter, 7-0 St. X. You're listening to St. X High School Football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hey, St. X fans. Want to learn more about how your eyes work?
That was nice.
Next time you visit the Eye Care
I picked up
Institute.
Algar the whole time, and he was just
Brennan
you know what?
has been
He just
named
stayed with the
top
guy,
by Louisville
and that was
Magazine.
enough to get
Dr.
Metzmeyer in the
Brennan
end zone.
And the doctors at the Eye Care Institute can meet all
Who's
your
a holder,
vision
Tony?
needs.
I think it was Seeger, wasn't it?
16.
Oh, that's Jude Carlin.
Jude Carlin is the holder.
Another basketball player.
Now on the T-shirt.
Or call 589-1500. That's 589-1500.
I'm pretty handy around my
Jimmy, if we got time, we're coming down to you.
Thing I leave to the pros, electrical work. And when I need it, I call Oldham County Electric. They're licensed contractors.
See how long
that do
the
it all.
breaks
Wiring,
are.
room additions, lighting design, landscape lighting. They even have standby
Was that like
generators
7
and
plays?
offer 24-hour emergency service.
80 yards?
How many plays?
Oldham County. Trust
You
me,
know?
don't mess with electrical work. Contact Oldham County Electric 502-310-1462 or oldhamcountyelectric.com.
9 plays, Jimmy.
Okay.
Back at St. X, John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, Todd Powers. And let's head down to Jim Brinkman as the ball falls off the tee before the kickoff. Impressive drive for the Tigers to open the season, Jimmy.
Yeah, 9 plays, 80 yards, marched right down the field. As Tony said, Allgaier with tremendous block. And also give some credit to Jack Albers for actually stringing out and then pitching at the last moment.
Kyle Nally will kick it away. It's going to come down in play at the 1-yard line.
Fake a reverse.
Dejon Collins with it, and he's still got it across the 25. Spins out of a tackle, and he's hog-tied at about the 27-yard line, and that's where the Irish will take over 1st and 10. Their quarterback is a sophomore, a transfer, Roman Purcell, 6'1", 190. And again, his main job, we think, tonight is going to be handoff football.
Yeah, we're going to see one guy, number 30, carried a whole lot. Marquise Stepp, a 6-foot, 217-pound senior running back who's committed to Notre Dame, and he's one of the top 3 or 4 candidates for Mr. Football in the state of Indiana.
Cathedral's defensive line saw a big St. X offensive line. St. X's defensive line is going to see a really big Cathedral O-line as well. Marquise Stepp in the backfield alone. Purcell in the pistol with him. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. No tight ends, so only 5 blockers. 2 guys moved. Big offensive lineman Ben Treese got an early start, but was he drawn into it? No, he was not. So an early start for Treese. Let's set the Tiger defense for you. 3-man front is Andrew Yules, Ryan Dobson, and Nolan Bruner, all seniors. The outside backers, Evan Walker and Connor O'Day. At the corners, or the inside backers, are Patrick Owen and Doug Schaffner. We'll check the defensive backfield after this play. 1st and 15, ball back of the 22. Purcell takes a snap, gives it to Stepp, running right. Big hole, tripped up. Nice tackle. And that is, yeah, that's Yules that came through and made the hit. I got him as 96 on my depth chart.
99 is Connor Schaefer.
So Schaefer in there early. Gain of about 5, 2nd down and 10. Under center this time is Purcell. Fullback in the game, and the Tigers jump offside. That was Dobson, the nose tackle, came across. And when you're the nose tackle, Tony, there's no excuse.
Well, you know from playing that position years ago that they tell you watch the ball. You don't listen when you're there because the ball's right in front of you. And an easy 5 yards after the Irish give the Tigers 5, they get it right back.
Corners for the Tigers are Jake Netherton and Harrison Payton. The safeties are Sam Borman, Cameron Garrett. 2nd down, 5 for the Irish. Under center's Purcell. He'll give it to Stepp, running right into the line. So a couple of guys missed. Now he's off to the races, running left to the 40, to the 50, and knocked out of bounds, tripped up by Cameron Garrett, who came over from the safety spot. It went into the middle of the line there, Tony, nothing there, bounced outside and had a lot of room.
A lot of inexperience on this Tiger defense. They still have to contain the outside, even on an inside run. And this guy, we're going to see him carry it. We're going to see him carry it. He was hurt all last year. Only played 5 plays last year, but like I said, he's a Notre Dame commit.
And all the way down to the St. X 39-yard line. 1st and 10 Irish. 4 receivers again. And again, they give it to Stepp up the middle. And this time, he's tripped up finally. Fought his way through the line. Got hit initially by Evan Walker, who came crashing down from that end. Schaefer was there as well. It's a gain of a couple to the 38. Or the 37, excuse me. 2nd and 8. One receiver each way this time. And 2 tight ends in the game. And Purcell in the pistol formation. He's got Marquis Step behind him. He gives it to Step. Up the gut. Coming up and making a hit early that time. Schaffner's in on the tackle, but the guy that
Borman
came up early was, Sam Borman from his safety spot. Made the early hit.
Well, one thing you have to be careful here is Step's going to carry it, and they're going to pull it out there one time and take a shot. But right now, Marquis Step is the whole offense, and that's what we were told before the game.
Connor O'Day in on that tackle as well. 3rd down and 6 from the Tiger 35. Well, the Tigers almost jumped off sides again. Purcell with Step right next to him. 4 receivers in the pattern. High snap. Quick throw to the right. It's caught out there and hit well short of the first down. Dejon Collins, the Indiana State commit, was brought down, but it's going to be 4th and about 4. No reason for the Irish to put the punt team in.
Well, Patrick Owen makes the play from his middle linebacker spot there. But that was basically a running play. They tried to get a helmet-on-helmet, and now if you're the Tiger defense, you've really got to pay attention to where Step is.
4th down and 4. Step in the backfield, but not behind Purcell. Purcell will take the snap and go straight back. Looks to throw, throws over the middle, incomplete. Looking for Step. O'Day was with him, but he was the closest Tiger, but that's just a bad pass, and St. X will take over on downs with 4:56 to go here in the first quarter, leading it 7-0.
Well, interesting right there. He had Step coming out of the backfield in a little flat, and he kind of looked him off and looked for the receiver over the middle, and I think if he tosses it out to Step gets that 4 yards easy. But a nice stop by the Tiger defense, and now they will take over at their own 33-yard land after they scored on their first possession. 4:56 left first quarter. Tigers lead 7-0.
Jackson the shotgun. He'll hand it to Brett Metzmeyer up the middle. He's got some room. Tripped up. Nice open field tackle at about the 38-yard line by Dylan Stewart. But it's a gain of about 5 for Metzmeyer to be 2nd and 5.
And, John, if the Tigers can run effectively between the tackles, that is going to open up that passing, which we saw on the first drive, and a nice gain on 1st down.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Offset out of the right for Jack Albers. Now 11 guys look to the sideline to get the play call. Metzmeyer switches side. He is behind Albers' left shoulder. Now he goes in motion to the right. Empty backfield. Quarterback draw. Running to the right and tripped up. That's Barrow again. Smock got out and got one linebacker, but nobody has found Jackson Barrow yet. It's a loss of a yard. Bring up 3rd and 6.
And that play was set up really well, but the offensive line has to get downfield and at least do a shield block on him. If they get to Barrow right there, there's nobody behind him, but you got to get there, and then they didn't now. So the Tigers look at 3rd and 5. Looks like maybe a long 5.
Yeah, they give him the line of scrimmage, which I was surprised. It is 3rd down and 5. 4 receivers in the pattern. Varga in to help block. Barrow shows blitz. He's coming. Quick throw out of there, incomplete. Looking for Mueller over the middle. Just led him a little bit too much. Good coverage that time from George Kirch. The Tigers will have to kick it away.
Well, 3 and out's not what you want after you get a stop right there, and looks like maybe a little too much heat on the ball, but trying to drill one in there. And, boy, after you get 5 yards on 1st down, you hate to see that happen. And we'll see. Kyle Nally.
Kyle Nally will kick it away. Dejon Collins deep, and I think a little too deep, kicking into this wind for Nally. Good snap. Not a good kick. Got a little backspin on it. Takes a Tiger bounce, rolls inside the 40, inside the 30, and all the way down to the 38. Well, they don't take pictures of them, right? It's going to end up being a good punt.
Yeah, kind of offside of the foot it looked like, but, boy, if you can get that good roll, there's nothing wrong with that.
Ball's at the 28-yard line. Cathedral will take over. 1st and 10, 3:28 to go here in the first quarter. 7-0 Tigers. We talked about it in the open, Tony. We sort of expect a 42-35 kind of game here tonight.
Yeah, we really do. Both teams' strength is their offensive line, but Jackson Barrow's been the guy for Cathedral that's at any time they've stopped the Tigers, he's been the guy.
Purcell's in the pistol. He's got, of course, Marquis Step back there with him. One receiver each way.
You think he'll throw after that last pass?
I do not. 2 tight ends in the game. And here is Step running to the right. Trying to stretch it outside, and he does. Knocked out of bounds by Netherton, short of the 35-yard line. Got to the 33, about 5 yards for Marquise Stepp. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Well, Nolan Bruner did a great job of getting off a block, but he, couldn't get him down. He reached out to get him, but when you get off that block like that, boy, if you can slow him down in the backfield, you can get a lot of help.
Yeah, he had good penetration. You're right, but Stepp just looked like he just turned it up a notch as he ran around the corner. Under center this time is Purcell. There's a fullback in front of Marquise Stepp this time. And it is Stepp and Stepp and more Stepp. And he's at the 40 and he's at the 50 and he's down the right sideline. He's gotten loose, wants to cut it back inside, but he's hauled down by Netherton at about the 31-yard line of St. X.
Well, once again, they're bunching it up in there and going helmet on helmet, and Stepp, you can see why Notre Dame is, he's committed to Notre Dame. He gets in there and then he bounces it twice. He's bounced it out and got a big yard. Tigers have to stay on that outside shoulder or it's going to be chasing Marquise Stepp a lot tonight. Maybe they're going to wear him out and let him run.
Carson Kaito comes in, goes wide to the left, actually slotted that way. Collins is wide, 3 that way. And a whistle and a flag. Marquise Stepp was getting a well-deserved rest there.
Referee might not count very well, I got a feeling.
There's 11 white jerseys out there.
It's early. It's early in the season.
It's early. Inadvertent whistle. I'm surprised they don't put Stepp back in. It was like a free play there.
Might watch for Purcell running the ball here. We haven't really seen him tuck it and go.
Yeah. And C.J. Voigt, listed as a tight end, is in the backfield with Purcell. Same formation here, 3 to the left, 1 to the right, and he wants to throw. Now he'll pull it down and go up the middle, hit and got away from it to the 30, now hit from behind and brought down, hammered at about the 25-yard line. Boy, Tigers had a shot at him right at the line of scrimmage. Schaffner brings him down at the 25, but it's a first. It'll be a second down and 4, gain of 6.
Boy, the Tigers had a shot at him at about the 33 and couldn't get him down, and gets the ball inside. Right at about the 25-yard line of the Tigers. 7-0 Tigers here, first quarter. 2:39 left, first quarter.
Second down and 4. And Sam Mincer, the big fullback, in there again in front of Marquise Stepp. 1 receiver each way. And here is the fullback getting in and nowhere to go. Might have fallen forward for a yard. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
Just kind of jammed it up there, and Evan Walker from his weak side outside linebacker spot makes the tackle.
I guess every once in a while you got to feed the fullback, but you sure don't want to if you don't have to.
Well, it's a hot night. Stepp's carried the ball a bunch already here in the first quarter, and he goes out of the game.
Yeah, 3rd and 3, and he's out. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and Voigt in the backfield, the tight end. Purcell takes a snap, goes back, wants to throw, throws to the right. It is dropped. Right at the first down marker, Collins went airborne, and I'm not sure he had to. Got hit by O'Day as he was coming down, but he dropped it before that. And now they'll go on 4th down.
Well, I think that's what they were thinking right there. We're going to have 2 plays to get a first down, but interesting that they take Stepp out of the game and now bring him in on 4th down. So it's going to be 4th and 3 with 1:44 left here in the first. The ball's at the Tiger 24.
Well, they may score a touchdown here, but I definitely have somebody flying at Marquise Stepp from that defensive backfield.
There's 9 guys that are going to be up in there.
4th down and a long 2 here. The Tigers jump. Andrew Yules came off sides, and that'll give the Irish a free first down. Second offsides penalty of the night for the Tigers, and defense coordinator Bart Bruner not going to be happy about that.
No, and that's just, we talked about mistakes, and I know it's early. You're a little jacked up, but plays like that can kill you. And Yule's the best returning player on that defense. Sometimes you just make a mistake.
1st and 10, ball at the 19 now of St. X. 1:44 left here in the first quarter. Quick moving quarter. Purcell's in the shotgun. He's got Stepp to his right and in front of him. 3 to the right, 1 receiver to the left. Takes a snap. Quick throw to the right, and it's incomplete. A long throw across the field. Collins had to end up diving for it, and it was out of his reach. Good coverage that time. Again, O'Day was over there. Tony Connor O'Day covering people from his linebacker spot.
Well, the rolling guys out, they run 2 guys out to try to block. Netherlands out there too. But that ball's got to get out there quicker. If it's going to stay up in the air like that, if he catches it, he's not going to go anywhere. But I know what they're going to do here. Ain't nobody else going to touch it but 30 when they don't move it when 30 doesn't touch it.
2nd and 10, ball at the Tiger 19. Purcell takes a snap, gives it to up the middle, big hole to the 20, to the 15, first down and more. Ewells with the tackle from behind at about the 7-yard line, a gain of about 12 there for Marquise Stepp. And he just gets behind those big guys, Tony, takes his time and finds a hole.
He does, and he's very patient, and strong runner, and you can't reach out and try to pull him down, what the Tigers tried to do right there. If they reach out, they're not going to get this guy down.
1st and goal at the 7 for the Irish. 2 receivers to the right, 2 tight ends in. And Stepp in the backfield. He and Roman Purcell have a little conversation, and I think it was just give me the football. This time he does get it across the middle, fighting his way inside the 5. The pile still moving as it gets to the 2-yard line before the whistle. Gain of 5, just strength on strength there.
Well, when you got 285, 333, 280, around 300, you just get behind them and let them push them forward. And when you have a stud running back, that's what the game plan is. We're under a minute here in the first quarter. Irish knocking on the door. Tigers lead 7-0.
Collins comes wide to the left. Only receiver in the pattern right now. Voigt is the fullback. So 3 tight ends, one of them playing fullback right now. Purcell taking his time, finally under center. Takes a snap. He wants to throw it. Little fade looking for Collins, and is caught for the touchdown. Little one-on-one on the outside, and Dejon Collins makes the catch, and that might just be, let's get our quarterback some confidence throw, because if they don't get it there, they're going to try to run it up the middle on 3rd down.
Well, I think that's exactly. Plus, you can't run step every play when it's 85 degrees out here. And
why not?
But a nice fake, a nice little out pattern. He throws it to the back of the end zone right where you want to throw it. And now the extra point coming.
Tyler Sylvia in to kick it. Good snap. The hold was bobbled, but a good job to get it down and through. It's 7-7. Jim Brinkman, these are 2 pretty good offensive lines taking shots at the two defensive lines that are a little inexperienced.
You mentioned in the pregame about the Michigan signee, I believe it's Emil Ekior, and he is just having his way in the middle. He moved from tackle into center for the Fighting Irish this year, and he is just controlling them, the linebackers and the line, especially since the St. X defensive lines jumped off sides. They've taken advantage. They're back. Their weight is waiting. They're a little bit slow right now, and Marcus Stepp and Ekior are just taking advantage.
And Stepp, Tony, 8 carries for 96 yards already, so he is with a lot of help from that big offensive line having his way.
Yeah, when Dobson's the heaviest guy the Tigers have on the defensive line at 250. A lot of the guys, Ewells goes 235, Bruner 210, Schaefer goes 230. So you're looking at guys that are 230 to, probably average 225 on that defensive line, and you're looking at a 335 center. Another guy's 333, 285, and some other guys up there, which are massive. But we know the Tigers have to move the football and score, and they went 3 and out last time after a stop on the first possession by the Irish, and that's the key to me, is Tigers got to keep moving the football and keep it away from Notre Dame. Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, Indianapolis Cathedral.
Hey, if we're tied with Notre Dame at the end of the quarter, I'm happy. Sylvia, who put one through the end zone on his first kickoff, will tee it up. Cameron Garrett, Hayden Roadhouse, deep for the Tigers. Miles Harris, deep for the Tigers. And this one's in the end zone as well, about 5 yards deep. And St. X will start at the 20, 1st and 10.
Well, 25 seconds left here in the first quarter, John. And we actually thought we might see some more scoring, but Tigers did a nice job on their first possession, mixing it up and throwing it a little bit, because Cathedral likes to bring everybody up in tight. And, I think that you see the Tigers go back to it some more, because they're really selling out for the run, and the pass is what's hurt them.
Of course, Live Sportscaster is streaming our games again this year with our audio. You go to stx.com and check that out. Watch the game while you listen to us. Albers in the shotgun, running to the right. It's an option, going to keep it. He's across the 20 and not tripped up. Nice play again That is Dylan Stewart, whose name we have called a lot in this quarter. Tripped him up at about the 24-yard line, a gain of 4 for Albers. First quarter will wind down to an end, 7-7. Second quarter action on the way. We knew it would be competitive, and so far it is. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
And that's the end of the first quarter with the St. X
Big deal. But when it's not on, getting high-quality parts for the next backyard barbecue or get-together
as long as we remember.
Is even bigger deal. That's why I call Rent and Rave for any event ranging from
They're
10
just
people
huge.
to 10,000.
They are.
Their old lines just, I mean, we think we got a big old line, and we do. They're huge.
Chairs, tents, lighting, heaters, and fans to expand the party outside.
I watched
anyway, Terry's going to meet us. Alan said to let him know. And Slugger's here.
RentandRave.com.
Serving the Louisville area for over 40 years, Jefferson Special Police has become one of Louisville's
We got the win now.
contract security firms providing
Huge advantage.
services.
I think they really got to run the ball quickly.
Frank, anything I need to know?
Takers, ushers, and valet parking attendants.
Jack.
No event is too
What?
big or too small.
I wanted to pass on. Dr. Sangali told me he's available for a sideline interview sometime this season. I told him Fairdale.
It's a good call.
Wow, I'm turning your mic on.
Hey, we'll miss half the game if you do.
Back at St. X, John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, Todd Powers. 7-7 after a quarter, Tony. It's kind of what we expected.
Yeah, John, both teams with 4 first downs. And it's been running the ball for the Irish, and it's actually been throwing the ball for the Tigers. That's where they've been effective. First play of the game was the big one. Tigers score on the first drive. The Fighting Irish from Cathedral from Indianapolis score on their second drive. So that's where we're at here to start the second quarter. The Tigers will start this drive from their own 24-yard line.
And we will not be upset when that sun goes all the way down.
Yeah, it comes right over the old workout room or whatever you want to call it.
Well, the Molson Golf Center is what it is, isn't it?
There you go. It's going to start with 2nd and 6 from the Tiger 24 here.
On the right hash mark, Jack Alberts brings his team to the line of scrimmage. He sends Crum to the right, Mueller and Allgaier to the left. Empty backfield. Seegers to the right as well in the slot. He's now in motion, and they give it to him, running left. Gets away from the first tackler, cuts inside, makes a nice move across the 35 to the 36. Great job just to get a couple of yards that time from Ben Seeger.
Well, Seeger's the guy that they like to use on quick plays, passes, and runs. Makes a great move to make a Fighting Irish player miss him in the backfield, but now the Tigers desperately need a first down here. 3rd and 4.
That was Stewart. He made miss, and Stewart hadn't missed anybody yet. 4 receivers in the pattern, empty backfield on 3rd and 4. Hugh Davis, the Boston College commit, over on the outside showing blitz. So the Tigers reset here. Barrow looks like he's coming as well. Albers takes a snap. Quick throw to the right. He's got Seeger. Going to have to make a move, and he can't. Dropped at the line of scrimmage. Coming up and making the tackle was Max Worth, the outside linebacker, and the Tigers will have to kick it away.
Well, they read it right. Davis was coming on the outside, but it takes too long to get that ball out that far. That's one you want to get out quicker, that you can get a helmet on helmet, and now the Tigers, for 2 possessions in a row, go 3 and out.
And Nally will come in to kick it away. Collins goes deep.
And John, correct me, but the Tigers have not been effective on the outside. I think they're trying to get away from the inside, but use that middle of the field.
Yeah, if your inside linebacker's rushing, just throw it where he was. Now he boots it out of there. This is much better. High, deep, drives Collins back. No fair catch. He takes it at the 30, eludes one tackler, running to the left, and is dropped at about the 32, maybe the 33-yard line. Good coverage by the Tigers.
That's a 43-yard kick by Kyle Nally.
Sam Leffert, backup wide receiver, to make the tackle for the Tigers.
Well, Andre Coleman was down there right as he was catching it, but he shedded him. But Tigers with nice coverage and a nice punt by Nally. So now the Tiger defense, it's bend but don't break, but you got to get a stop and get the ball back to the offense. Offense looked great on the first possession, but like I said, they've only run 6 offensive plays in the last 2 possessions.
10-17 to go here, first half. We're tied at 7. As Cathedral comes to the line of scrimmage. Collins comes wide to the right, 2 receivers to the left. That's the short side of the field. Marquis step to the left of Purcell, and he will get the carry. Running to the right, then he runs into some people and hit and drop from behind. Good job by the Tigers to stop it up. Borman again came up, Tony, and Cameron Sam's the linebacker, came in there and made first contact and actually just pushed step backwards. There's a flag.
Boy, and they're talking to Cathedral.
At the end of the play, it's a dead ball, personal foul against Cathedral. So I believe the down will count then, and it'll cost the Irish 15 yards. And I'm sure Coach Rick Strife, who's out at the hash mark now, wants to know who did it and what did he do.
Yeah, that's one that can really hurt you. And Step that time was patient, but the Tigers did a great job of jamming it up and then coming from behind and making the play, and then you get that major penalty on the end of it. So tap ball game here, early second quarter, but now Cathedral has moved back to their own 15-yard line, and, John, they got to get out to the 43 to get a first down.
I believe it was a dead ball, so is it second down here? They've still got a 1 on the marker. But it's all the way back at the 15-yard line. Yeah, it is second down. 2nd and 28 for the Irish. And the new running back in there is Chandre Sissel. Chandre took over for Step last year and had a really good year. And they give it to him up the middle, makes one man miss, and he gets about 10 yards out to the 25 before he's hauled down. And one of the big linemen down for Cathedral. And that is Emil Ekior, Tony, the Michigan commit, and he is down.
At 70.
72.
Yeah, it is. Wow. That's your center, too, who controls.
He's talking about it, looking at his left leg, Tony. That's not good. We're going to take a quick break. 9:39 to go here in the first half. Tied at 7. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Do you need to go outside your house to
I'll turn this down for a second. I'll talk to you.
Bed make you feel like you have swamp fever? You don't have to wait to buy a new air conditioner. DFH Heating and Cooling is offering special financing for 15 months on any qualified new Train comfort system purchased by August 31st, subject to credit approval. Remember, it's hard to stop a train. Ask DFH about their expert service team, qualified to repair any maker model. Call DFH 968-6222.
I didn't want to say it on there.
I was trying to get some scores here, and I haven't had time to even look.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. This
Hello,
is
Larry.
Larry Bissig. Thank you for listening to the St. X
Hello,
Tigers
Larry.
on the Bissig Impact Sports
Steps
Radio
got
Network. And don't forget to tune in to Louisville
8 carries for
First, our morning
96.
show on weekdays,
12 yards a
7 to
carry.
10
That's what they got
a.m.
on here.
790
That's pretty good.
a.m.
That's what Todd had,
These
too.
broadcasts are just an example of
Oh, they got him. They got him over on the bench.
That's
we
Mars
offer.
got
He's
5
he's
carries for
walking off,
20.
so that's
Give
good.
us a call at
Oh, he just slammed his helmet down.
Or visit Bissig.com.
I mean, slammed
The
it.
Bissig Impact Group. Innovative,
I don't know if
I'm on this
integrated
play.
marketing.
Back at St. X, well, the good news is Emil Ekior walked off under his own power. The bad news is he thinks it's not good because he slammed his helmet down once he got to the sideline and took a seat on the bench where the trainers are looking at him. It is third down and about 18 after the 10-yard gain from Chandre Sissel.
Tigers changing some personnel. Yules was not in the game. He came in. I think Walker had to come out.
Shugart is in there at the nose this time. And Cameron Sam's in there as well, a linebacker. In motion from right to left.
Oh,
the snap is over the quarterback's head. It's back at the 6-yard line where the tight end, the fullback, actually playing fullback, listed as a tight end, DJ Voigt, fell on it all the way back at the 6. A miscommunication. And what happens when your center goes out with an injury? That's what happens sometimes.
Yeah, Purcell's not even looking at the center, and he snaps it, and everybody in the backfield doesn't move. And now Tigers need to get their personnel out on the field a little quicker.
Seeger's back deep. The kick is away. Ben will come up and take it. He's got a little room. He caught for a fair catch at about the 42-yard line. 35-yard kick, no return. Jim Brinkman, the old snap over the head there for the Tigers.
Come back to me, John. I'm trying to catch up on what the coach of the Fighting Irish was. I think he definitely wanted a penalty for the Tigers running on the field a little bit late there. I was watching that.
Well, you can have too many on the field, Tony, but you can't have too few. And they certainly didn't have too many. 1st and 10, Albers, play action, wants to throw deep. Does throw over the middle. He's got a man at the 20. Hauled down at about the 13-yard line. That is Will Crump. No, that's Ben Mueller with his second catch of the day. And it's a big gain of 28 yards down to the 14-yard line. Tigers in the green zone quickly, and Jack put that one on the money.
That's 2 catches from Mueller for 44, but they're getting man coverage because Cathedral spreading everybody out. You know what? You run a little slant there. They got the safety on a wide receiver, and it's very effective.
Crum left, Mueller right, Algar slotted that way. Offset I. Albers wants to throw again. Looking, throws, almost intercepted. Boy, he was looking for Crum that time. And I'm telling you, George Kirch might have had about 90 yards in his future.
Well, Albers made a mistake right there. Not that he threw the ball. It was that he threw the ball. But if he holds it a second longer, he runs right by him, and he just throws a little touch pass for a touchdown. He ran the wheel route out to the left side. And, boy, Albers just got impatient right there, John. Almost cost him a touchdown.
Tigers in the green zone for the second time. Brought to you by the Eye Care Institute. Dr. Brennan Green. 2nd and 10 at the 14. They fake the inside handoff. Good, and that's my big hole. To the 10, to the 5. First down. He dives, and he's short, I believe. Just short of the goal line, inside the 1-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle, but a big hole that time opened by the offensive line.
Well, they did a great job. They faked the sweep, and what he did is he went inside the outside linebacker, so he had that lane to go, and, boy, nice job by the guys up front. Tigers knocking on the door with 7:40 left here, second quarter.
1st and goal. They bring in Trenton Zellers, a second fullback. Albers under center now. Going to sneak it, and he's in. Touchdown. St. X Tigers. Well, they brought the 2 fullbacks in, Tony. They spread them out. Albers went under center, and boom, right up the rear end there of Clayton Six for the touchdown.
Well, when you have Six and Smock and Kennedy and those guys, you only need 3 guys blocking right there. And one of the linebackers for Cathedral moved up, but it was man on man, and the Tigers win that one. So with 7:30 left, first half, Tigers lead 13-7. Alan Matija on to attempt the extra point.
Jude Carlin is the holder. Good snap, good hold. Matija gets it up and through. 14-7, Tigers lead it. 7:30 to go in the half. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Want to learn more about how your eyes work? It's time you visit the Eye Care Institute. Again this year, Dr. Brennan Green has been named a top doc by Louisville Magazine. Dr. Green and the doctors at the Eye Care Institute can meet all your vision needs. For more information or to schedule an appointment with Dr. Green at the Eye Care Institute, visit eyecareinstitute.com or call 589-1500. That's
not our fault.
1500.
The Tigers host the state's top-ranked team tomorrow.
Are you thinking of taking a cruise or quick weekend escape?
I don't know where we're banking.
Well, I don't want to go over and tell him, but somebody should. Coaches should.
Premier full-service travel agency specializing in customized vacations.
Yeah. Oh, he's got 283.
283.
Irwin's a defensive back.
Yeah.
He should be able to read that.
At 292-4750 or
Can't help him there.
at 292-4749. Fly by nights. It's the best way to travel.
Who's deep here? Back at St. X, John, Tony, Jim, and Todd, and Kyle Nally's kick high, deep to the corner, takes a bounce, stays in at the 1, picked up by Collins. He needs to make something happen here, and he's going to be hemmed in at about the 15-yard line. He didn't want to let it bounce one more time, Tony, because if it bounces backwards, that's real trouble. I think it was going to bounce into the end zone, but Collins, I think, just decided, you know what, I'm not going to take a chance here.
Yeah, one of those plays that you're daring yourself to something bad happen is Matthew Hartnett makes the play.
Jim Brinkman, Tigers have looked good through the air tonight.
Yeah, number 23, Dylan Stewart, is playing defensive back for the Irish. He is 5'6", and when he's matched up against Ben Mueller or Will Crum, I like our chances.
Absolutely. We got some. Exactly. When's the last time we had a couple of tall receivers, Tom?
Well,
and then we took Garrett and put him on the other side, and we'd be even bigger over there.
Yeah, you got guys that catch it too, and like I said, when they start coming up for the run, then you're getting man coverage everywhere, and there's a lot of room to run when you're running a slant or a quick out.
Well, the good news for the Cathedral, Emil Ekifor is back in the game at center. That is fantastic news for everybody involved here. Purcell in the pistol. He's got a step behind him. Ball at about the 17-yard line. First down, Cathedral. Here's Step on the carry. Up the middle. Hit. Run, drags the ball. The ball came out while he was in the air. The Tigers say they have it. It looked like Netherton may have jumped in there and fallen on the football, but we shall see. No, it's going to be Cathedral football. It was Netherton who dove in there, and boy, the Tigers sure thought they had it, but one of those big offensive linemen under the pile outfought him for it.
Well, that would have been a big break for the St. X Tigers, but pretty good job of stuffing the play up there. And I watched Ekifor right there on that play, and he moved very well when he went out the block. So I kind of isolated on him, and it didn't look like his foot was hurting him much on that play.
Gain of 3. Step will come to the sideline after putting the ball on the ground and get a little earful from Coach Strife. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right on 2nd down and 7. Straight drop for Purcell. Wants to throw. In trouble. Now he's going to run out of there, and he's got some room across the 25. Hit and drop short of the first down. Nice tackle. Terrific play that time. That is Peyton Mattingly.
Well, Mattingly did a great job, but I'm still trying to get the number the guy made the play. Then let Mattingly make it, and it's 51, Doug Schaffner. He actually stayed at home, did a great job of making him stay in front of him as the rest of the guys come and make the play.
Our man Rob Schweitzer having some trouble. Tigers got a lot of double numbers, and the freshman coach / varsity PA guy having some trouble down there. That was Peyton Mattingly with a nice tackle. 3rd down and 1. Sissel in the backfield this time. It's a quarterback keeper, and Purcell just gets behind that big offensive line. You know, when a Michigan commit, Ikior's snapping it to you, stay behind him.
6'3", 335. You feel like you can get a yard just getting in behind him. They can't find you.
Well, he got 3 just falling forward behind his big center. 1st and 10, Cathedral. 5:54 to go here in the half. Tigers with a 1-touchdown lead over the Irish. 3 receivers in the pattern. Sissel still in it, running back. Purcell gives it to him, running right on the sweep. Tripped over the turf monster, I think. And Netherton came up to make sure he didn't go any further. Got across the 30 to about the 32. It's a gain of 3.
Well, Dave was out there making the play, helping make the play, but these outside linebackers got to understand, stay on that outside shoulder, make them cut it back and not give up a big play. So 2nd and 7 from the 32. 5:20 left first half. Tigers lead 14-7 here at St. X High School.
And Marquis Stepp back in the game for the Irish. 1 receiver each way. 2 tight ends in the game. Pistol formation again here on 2nd and 7. Purcell fake it to Stepp, rolling left. He's got a lot of room. Now he throws, and it's going to be out of the reach of Collins. Pressure came late that time from O'Day, who was chasing Purcell out of there. Good coverage, too, for the Tigers. I believe that's Pate over there on the coverage, Tony.
It was, John. They got a little bit of pressure, just enough to make Purcell get rid of it quick, and then good coverage by the Tigers. O'Day with the pressure, and that just speeds up the play, and the Tigers get the incomplete pass. So 3rd and 7. Tigers can get a stop here. They should have good field position. They do lead by a touchdown.
3rd down, 7 at their own 32. 3 receivers to the left. Collins will be the widest.
No Step in the game.
1 to the right. That's Derek Hall. Straight drop for Purcell. Pressure up the middle. In trouble and dropped. Well, it was Ewells who came up the middle and caused the pressure.
Let's give all those guys credit there. Schaefer and Walker were rushing too, and it collapsed. The pocket collapsed right there, and the Tigers just did a great job of staying in there. And now the Irish will have to kick it away for the 2nd time tonight.
Loss of about 4 on the play. 4th down and 11. Seeger deep for the Tigers. And Tyler Sylvia in to kick it away. Good snap. The Tiger was held there, but no call. Shank to the right. Bounces out of bounds on the Tiger sideline at about the 45-yard line, their own 45. So a 28-yard kick off the side of his foot. Jim Brinkman, big crowd over here on, if I can find your microphone, over here on this side tonight.
Yeah, it is patriotic night on the St. X side. It's Hawaiian night on the
I saw
on
that.
the Indianapolis Cathedral side. But there is they filled at least 1.5 sections of nothing but students, and they're dressed in the red, white, and blue, and they appear to be having a very good time.
Albers goes high and deep on 1st down. Oh, a little hold there, no flag. Mueller was the target. And as he tried to go up to catch the ball, it may have been out of his reach, Tony, but you got to give him a chance to catch it there.
Yeah, John, and it's one of those ones where they have man coverage on the outside, and the pass stays up there. And, boy, it looked like the last minute that the defender maybe got a hold of him, but they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I thought Max Worth got a handful of Ben Mueller's arm there. 2nd and 10. Tigers went for the big one there with 4:07 now to go here in the half. St. X leads it 14-7.
Dare those linebackers to come and maybe dump a little screen off here.
Albers in the shotgun. He's got Metzmeyer back there with him and 3 receivers in the pattern. Now Allgaier in motion. They fake it to him, give it to Brett up the middle. Got a little room, running over some tacklers. Oh, Tony, Wyatt Smock just pushing the pile across midfield down to the 49-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on what should have been a gain of about 3.
You got a big grader going to Vanderbilt, watching the replay right here. He's taking them with him, about 4 guys, and then a couple other Tigers jump in.
Ball in Cathedral territory at the 49. It's 3rd down and 4.
And to me, John, this is a huge play just to try to keep the ball away from Cathedral. Not that you even score. You don't want to give them the football back, and you can run a lot of clock here.
Ginter in the slot to the left with Crum. 2 receivers to the right. Allgaier and Mueller. Blitz comes. Pressure. Albers gets out of it, and he's going to run for the first down. Across the 45, lowers his shoulder, and gets to the 39, a gain of 10. Well, they came from the outside, and he just stepped up in the pocket and took off, and that's what Jack Albers brings for you.
Yeah, he made a guy miss. Hugh Davis, the Boston College commit, miss, but he's got to learn at the end, John. Get down.
1st and 10 at the 39. 2 receivers each way again, and the Irish jump off sides. A couple of Irish. Do you get 10 yards for that?
No.
That's a crazy rule.
Well, we're down to 3:11 here in the first half. Tigers lead the Irish of Indianapolis Cathedral 14-7. Tigers move the ball on the penalty down to the 34 of the Irish, so Tigers have great field position here, and it's going to be 1st and 5.
And the Tigers with all 3 timeouts left. Clock continues to roll as we get down near the 3-minute mark. 4 receivers. Ginter in motion. A whistle. And I believe there is a flag on the play. Let's see what it is. Well, we're going to move right back. False start against the Tigers.
Boy, it doesn't seem like much, a 5-yard penalty right there, but you got 1st and 5. You have a million plays that you can throw at them, and you give it back to them. It was an early penalty, so somebody must not have stayed set in there. So Tigers will now have the ball just inside the Cathedral 40-yard line.
And the other bad part, Tony, you lose about 30 seconds with that exchange of penalties, so you're down to 2:50 here in the half.
They've been bringing the linebackers too, John.
1st and 10, empty backfield again. Albers, it's a quarterback draw, and he's got nowhere to go. This time, it looked like a mad Hugh Davis, who gave up the last run, came through and made the hit back at the 43-yard line, loss of 4.
Well, the quarterback draw doesn't work when the linebackers are coming from the outside right at you, and a play that the Tigers, boy, would like to have over again. But we're down to 2:20 left here. Clock running. Tigers have the ball at the Cathedral 43. Not in a big hurry right here. You want to score, but you also want to keep Cathedral from having the football.
3 receivers in the pattern, 2 fullbacks, and Albers empty in the backfield. In motion is Metzmeyer. He'll take the inside handoff. Nope, Jack kept it up the middle. Got back the original 5 that he just lost to the 39-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 9. Clock continues to run. We're under 2 minutes.
And, John, if I'm the Tigers, I wouldn't be in a hurry right now either, and they're not. As the clock runs down, if you get a 1st down here, then you start using those timeouts.
It'll be 3rd and 9 for the Tigers.
2 receivers each way. Albers alone in the backfield.
Showing blitz up front.
Yep. Jackson Barrow, who was loud early in this game. We haven't heard much from him lately. He is coming. Jack wants to throw, does throw, has a man open on the sideline. It's caught by Will Crum, who's forced out of bounds at the 26-yard line, gain of 13, and a 1st down for the Tigers. Just a little timing route. There were 2 receivers over there, Tony. It sort of looked like maybe a little pick.
It didn't end up being a pick, but I think it wasn't set up as a pick, but I think it ended up working as one.
Worked out well for the Tigers, and Albers with another 3rd down conversion.
And Albers right on the money with it.
4 receivers again. 1:19 to go. Clock stopped as Crum got out of bounds.
Take a shot here?
No, why not? Albers in trouble, throws over the middle. He's got Crum makes a tackle at the 10, and he lost his footing and goes down at the 3-yard line. Great job by Will Crum to initially break the tackle, but then he wanted to get in the end zone way too quickly.
Yeah, he just kind of got his feet caught under him. But, John, the middle of the field has just tore up Cathedral because the safety, like Jimmy was saying, is playing these big wide receivers and advantage Tigers. And now with the clock running just at almost a minute left in the first half, Tigers have first and goal.
And that time Hugh Davis came, but he's not going to get there that quick enough if Albers gets it out of there quick enough. First and goal with the 3. Full house backfield. Tigers have the 2 tight ends, or the 2 fullbacks in, excuse me. Albers taking his time here in the shotgun. He's got Metzmeyer back there with him. Give it a Brett up the middle, and he is in. Touchdown, St. X Tigers. He went to the right of Clayton 6 and then cut back to the left and walked in. Metzmeyer with his 2nd touchdown of the night.
Well, Curley and Kennedy both did a great job in the middle. Not that the other guys didn't, and Curley got up a little gimpy there, but boy, they both had guys on the ground. But Metzmeyer goes in from behind him, 20-7 Tigers, with 42 seconds left here. Somehow or another, the Irish got 10 on the board.
Matija with an extra point. I don't know how that happens. It's good. It's 21-7 Tigers, 42.8 to go in the half. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
When you're not cheering on your favorite team and you're ready to tackle that large job or weekend project, Sunbelt Rentals has the equipment you need. From hand tools to excavators, we've got you covered.
He's trying. What's his name? Is it Steve?
He's a great guy.
Whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or contractor, you can rely
I like what I see.
Sunbelt Rentals.
They have imploded a little bit.
And you know what?
The one play that the center's not in, they snap it over the head.
Right. But we're killing them in the middle of the field.
Yes.
Killing them in the middle. They're bringing the linebackers almost every play, and if you get it out quick, you got man on man, like Jim said, with a 5'6" guy.
Trinity's up 14-0.
I forgot about looking.
You name it. We deliver
about 5 minutes to go in the half.
And quick, affordable service.
42 seconds left here.
Choice for all your signage needs.
Do you kick it deep, Johnny, or kick it on the? Oh, now hopefully now I can get it at the end zone.
He was close last time.
502-491-8180 or visit us online at signsnow.com.
Back over at the Thomas More Stadium, John, Tony, Jim, and Todd, and Kyle Malley will kick it away for the Tigers. We will, don't forget, Jim Brinkman will have some words with head coach Will Wolford at halftime here coming up. A little screamer along the ground, picked up at the 25-yard line. Right up the middle goes Max Worth, the outside linebacker, and he gets out to about the 41-yard line. Now, if you're Coach Strife, do you put it up? Do you take a chance on turning the ball over here, or do you just say, let's give it the step, he might go all the way?
Well, I try to set a screen or maybe something up that the Tigers haven't seen the step and maybe get a big play, but tough break for the Tigers right there. They kick it on the ground, which is a good move, but it goes right to Worth, so good field position with 38 seconds left here in the first half.
Ballard leads DeSales 15-14 late in the first half at DeSales. Trinity with a 14-0 lead over Carmel midway through the second quarter at Trinity. Rolling left is Purcell. He does want to throw. He does throw, and it is caught. Good coverage that time, but he hit one of those big tight ends, Haven Montefalco, in St. X territory at the 48. Now don't forget, they've got all 3 timeouts left as well.
Nice throw and catch there.
Clock starts. I would have used one there. Purcell, straight drop, wants to throw over the middle. It is caught. And a timeout quickly called by Coach Strife at the 40-yard line. That's Montefalco for his second catch in a row. We'll take a quick break. 21 seconds to go in the half. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hello, everybody.
All right, got all our breaks in there.
On behalf of the Bissig Impact Center, we have room for 2 tenants here.
Where's Montefalco been the whole game?
Right on 4th Street in the heart of downtown.
You know, that was almost a bad break for the Tigers because whoever the linebacker was, I think Owen, might have hit him early. And if it would have been pass interference,
yeah,
would have stopped the clock for him.
Yeah.
Home for your business.
Make a mistake here and pick one off.
Trinity's getting ready to score again.
That's what everybody's listening, so I gotta be careful. It's like a homer. Simpson.
Don't. Chocolate. Double chocolate. Triple chocolate. Woohoo.
The 3 guys out here. They might give it. They might give it the step.
Time of day.
Watch them giving it the step here.
No, it's 2nd and 2. So if he gets first down, it stops the clock. 2nd and 2. Purcell with the throw to the left. It's caught for the first down inside the 35-yard line, diving out of bounds after making the catch is Derek Hall, his first catch of the night. And Cathedral, with 17 and a half seconds to go here in the first half, is at the Tiger 33-yard line.
We saw a lot of leg from Sylvia earlier kicking off.
Yes, we did. 4 receivers again. Purcell with Step in the backfield with him. Rolls to the right. Step stays in the block. Wants to run. Does run, and he's dropped from behind at about the 30 and a quick timeout. Nolan Bruner in on the tackle for the Tigers.
That's an interesting call to me, John, when you got 30 back there.
Ryan Dobson was there as well. Jimmy, how critical do you think it is right now for the Tigers to keep the Irish out of the end zone?
Well, based on the strength of the kickoffs by the Fighting Irish kicker, I think he's got no trouble drilling 3 from out of here. But certainly, you want the momentum that we built up in that last 3 minutes. Where we drove the ball down the field and Metzmeyer went in for 6. But that's something that it can really set the tone, because the Fighting Irish will get the ball to start the second half. So if they score either 3 or 7 here and then start off the second half and score again, then we're in a very tight ball game as we anticipated.
And Tony, Jim makes a good point. They will get the ball to start the second half.
Well, this is a big possession for both teams right here. If you're the Irish, you want to get some momentum going in the second half. And if they're Tigers, you want to keep it.
There's 11.3 seconds to go here. So Purcell can't dance around too much back there. The Irish have 1 timeout left. It's 2nd and 6 at the Tiger 29. Purcell, straight drop, wants to throw it deep toward the end zone, and he overshot his man. I think he thought Montefalco was going deeper, and Montefalco kind of cut off his route and went to the middle of the field.
Yeah, John, and just a bad read, I think, by the quarterback with the receiver, and Cameron Garrett's back there. And the Tigers actually had good coverage, but, you don't want to get beat deep right here. It's 6.6 seconds left. What do you do if you're the Irish? Do you take it's going to be about a 46-yarder if you're going to kick it, and they're not going to.
Not going to. Got 1 timeout left. Maybe you'd give it to the big man here and let him try to get 4 or 5 yards and quickly call timeout.
Or just hold on to him for about 6 seconds if you're the Tigers.
Purcell in the shotgun on 3rd down and about 6. Straight drop. Clock's going to run out on this play as he's being chased to the left. Now throws deep down toward the end zone and overshot his man. That's Montefalco again, and that'll end the first half. So the Tigers been there in the last minute, but they do not break. We'll keep it right here. And after Coach Wolford talks to his team and sends them to the locker room, we'll have Jim Brinkman get the thoughts of the head coach. I would think pretty pleased. A couple of silly penalties, offsides and false starts, but overall, Tony, I think he's got to be pretty happy.
Oh, he's got to be happy about a 14-point lead. But I was watching Coach Strife over there, and he went right to Purcell like, look, you got to get rid of it at that point. You got to give us another play or at least a chance at a field goal. But Tiger faithful have to be happy here at Brother Thomas More Stadium and Paul M. Young Field with the 14-point lead at halftime. Tigers lead 21-7 over the Fighting Irish from Indianapolis Cathedral.
Brett Metzmeyer with 2 touchdown runs, 15 yards and 3 yards, and Jack Albers with a quarterback sneak from a yard out for the Tiger touchdown. Dejon Collins with a 2-yard catch from Purcell for the Irish points. Let's go down to Jim Brinkman. Jim?
All right, Coach, your impressions on that first half?
Very happy with the way we came out and played. A very good team we're playing. Not everything was perfect at all. We've made some mistakes we can certainly learn from, but you got to love the effort. The kids have been getting after it. I've thought all along we have a pretty tough football team, and they certainly played that way the first half. And we need to continue that because it's not like this team's going to go away.
You mentioned in a lot of the preseason previews that this is Jack Albers' team, and he seemed to do that in the first half.
He's really separated himself, and really the whole offseason. He's worked extremely hard. He's crazy competitive, and he's as tough as any kid we have out there.
Okay, you got Fighting Irish with the ball in the second half. Obviously, you try to stop Marcus Stepp.
Be nice to maybe get a stop and get another score and force them to do what they really don't want to do right now, which is throw the football. But, boy, they sure can run it.
All right. Thank you, Coach. 21-7 halftime. We'll kick it back here to John and Tony.
Thanks, Jim. And, again, as we said, a pretty pleased Coach Will Wolford. The Eye Care Institute halftime report is next. 21-7. St. X leads it here at the break over Indianapolis Cathedral. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of the St. X Tigers and Jefferson County High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. This season's live play-by-play coverage is sponsored by the Eye Care Institute. Call St. X grad Dr. Brennan Green at 589-1500 or visit the website at eyecareinstitute.com. Nights travel. Fly by nights. It's the best way to travel. Courier Journal. The Courier Journal. Now with expanded high school sports coverage. Sundays in print and at courier-journal.com. DFH. Call Don, Chris, or Alex Hinkabye at 968-6222 for all heating and cooling needs. St. X High School. Learn more at stx.com or call 502-637.
26-0 Butler. Who are they playing?
St. X High School. This.
Oh, I got it right here.
Start. Events LLC. Custom designs uniquely tailored.
Butler's playing
from setup to
Bullet East at Bullet
event
East.
Extraordinary. Bissig Impact Group. Integrated. Innovative marketing. Don't touch that dial. The Eye Care Institute halftime report is up next on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Imagine flipping in the air on the super quad bungee, running across the big.
I guess it's the quarterback, yeah, because he went back and got it. Quarterback went back and covered it. Does the quarterback lose that yardage? He should, right?
School and church functions, festivals,
What's the quarterback? He went back and got it.
Inflatables of all shapes and sizes.
You know what? The guy that picked it up was 82.
Stop imagining
82 picked it up. The guy was in the fullback.
0876 or book
Now that's who
online
picked
at
it up.
LouisvilleInflatables.com, where laughter adds to life. Louisville Inflatables.
Planning an event for thousands? At Events LLC, designers
Touchdown
are available to
Spartans.
provide
I don't know who that is.
custom
Oh, South
production and
One.
creative design services to coordinate your perfect event. Hosting a smaller gathering.
15-14 Ballard late in the half. Really late.
Events LLC.
Trinity got a field goal. They're up 17-0 with 21 seconds to go in the half. Male 14, Floyd Central 7 at halftime.
They said that would be a close game.
Call 583-5000.
What?
Or visit eventsllc.com.
What? Slugger.
There are a few things that truly inspire, like seeing young athletes succeed. With this in mind, the Courier Journal created the Kentuckiana Sports Awards presented by Norton Sports Health. We're honoring Athletes of the Week for Southern Indiana and Metro Louisville all season long, naming all area teams for more than a dozen sports, and capping off the year with a red carpet banquet in June. Vote for this week's Athlete of the Week at the CourierJournal.com sports page.
Do you need to go outside your house to cool down? Does staying in bed make you feel like you have
Cal has outgained.
I saw it. It's only
227 to 54 in the first.
It's only 13-0.
on any qualified new train comfort system purchased by
Cal's good now.
No, they're real good. Those are two really good players. That Carr kid.
I don't want to play them.
And Milton Wright.
Service team qualified to repair any maker model.
We just have too many numbers would be the problem.
I
tell you what, I keep pounding it and then throwing it over the middle. It's been working at it.
The middle's been
This
wide
is
open.
the Eye Care Institute halftime report
You got
on
the
the
numbers?
Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. Here's your broadcast team: John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, and Todd Powers.
Back at Brother Thomas More Stadium. I'm glad they finally added Todd Powers to that promo, Tony. Get him some love, right?
I hear you, Johnny.
You St. Martha guys, y'all all stick together, that's for sure. First half, 21-7, St. X leads Cathedral. A little surprising in that Marquise Stepp went for 96 yards on 8 carries in the first quarter. And he didn't touch the ball a whole lot in that second quarter. In fact, Purcell threw it a lot in that second quarter for Coach Rick Strife. I would imagine when they get the ball start second half, they're going to go back to Marquise Stepp.
Yeah, and Purcell ran it a few times too. Stepp only carried it 2 other times, and basically he's got 10 carries for 97 yards, which is an awesome night. But after 8 carries, he had 96. So Tigers and Coach Wolford, just like you said, have to be very pleased. Metzmeyer 8 carries for 48 yards, 6 yards a carry. Jack Albers 7 for 10 for 127, and he's looked good back there. And they've got that man coverage, which we've talked about down the field. And in the middle of the field's wide open. This is just 2 guys running, and if you can get it to him, the Tigers are catching it. Some quick stats here. First down, Tigers have 9. The Irish have 7. Rushing yards, Irish have 107. Tigers have 62. Passing yards, Irish 30. Tigers 127. And total plays, 30 for the Irish for 137. Tigers 27 for 186. So those are pretty even, but 21-7. Tigers lead it here at halftime.
And, you know, the 3 incompletions, 2 of them okay, bad passes, 1 almost picked off. But the one to Mueller where we thought there was interference, that was a good throw on the correct shoulder. And I think if Ben Mueller doesn't get hit, he might bring that one down. So Jack Albers running the ball just enough. Got a couple of first downs on the ground, scored the touchdown from a yard out. And he has been really composed in the pocket.
He has, and he's been hit a few times too. So it's not like he hasn't been hit. He's been hit throwing it. He's run the ball good, very well. But you know, they talk about him, competitor and a leader. And boy, when your leader's doing good things, everybody feeds off that.
And it appears to me, Tony, he doesn't care who he throws the football to. It's going to be whoever's open. And when you got 83 and 82 out there at 6'4", 6'5", whatever they are, it's easy to find them.
Yeah, and that is a luxury to have, those big targets, and especially when they're running against a guy in the defensive backfield that's 5'6", makes you feel pretty confident. But give St. X's offensive line a lot of credit. They've done a nice job of moving the football, and the defense here in the second quarter, John, did a much better job. With help from a bad snap, helped them too, but did a much better job of getting off the field. Like we said, Tigers have a 14-point lead because of that.
A couple other scores to pass along over on Shelbyville Road. Trinity leads Carmel from Indiana 17-0. They got a pick 6 in that game, and they lead Carmel 17-0 at halftime. And over in the south end, Ballard with a 15-14 lead over the DeSales Colts. We knew that would be a good win. DeSales, of course, will be the Tigers' first opponent next year over at their new stadium.
Yeah, and that'd be interesting. Next 2 years we'll open up over there. And
I'm going to check Ticketmaster early to get the tickets for that one, because
I think me and you better buy a few and then put them up for
us. That's going to be a tough ticket to start next year. Ben Mueller, 2 catches, 44 yards, and these catches by Mueller and Crum have pretty much set up the offense in the green zone for the Tigers. Great run by Metzmeyer, the 15-yarder. The 3-yarder was a really good run as well.
Yeah, and, you know, going back to Albers just a minute ago, he made the one bad pass, but I think that's a play he'll learn from, because that play was actually there, that wheel route. So Tigers are they've done a better job of adjusting. First drive, they just went down there, did a great job, but they've adjusted a little here in the second half.
We'll take a break, come back and talk about the defense and how it stepped up in the second quarter. 21-7 Tigers over the Irish. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hello, everybody. This is Larry Bissig. Thank you for listening to the St. X Tigers on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. And don't forget to tune in to Louisville First, our morning show on weekdays 7 to 10 a.m. on 790 a.m. These broadcasts are just an example of the vast marketing communication services we offer at the Bissig Impact Group. Give us a call at 583-0333 or visit Bissig.com. The Bissig Impact Group. Innovative, integrated marketing.
Are you thinking of taking a cruise or quick weekend escape? Knights Travel can meet all your travel needs. Knights Travel is Louisville's premier full-service travel agency specializing in customized vacation. For more information, visit knightstravel.com or contact St. X alum Lou Conklin at 292-4750 or Kaylin Ryback at 292-4749. Fly by Nights. It's the best way to travel.
Hey, St. X fans. Want to learn more about how your eyes work? It's time you visit the Eye Care Institute. Again this year, Dr. Brennan Green has been named a top doc by Louisville Magazine. Dr. Green and the doctors at the Eye Care Institute can meet all your vision needs. For more information or to schedule an appointment with Dr. Green at the Eye Care Institute, visit eyecareinstitute.com or call 589-1500. That's 589-1500.
Let's see, I need to replace the microwave, so I'll stop by Bargain Supply. We need a new shovel and garden gloves. I'll get those at Bargain Supply. Oh, and light bulbs. Bargain Supply for those too. Well, this should be an easy trip.
Bargain Supply has 60,000 square feet of merchandise, so you can find and save on everything you need in one easy stop. Save on appliances, electronics, tools, and more at Bargain Supply, 844 East Jefferson in Nulu, downtown Louisville.
When I first did that. Back at St. X, John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, Todd Powers, and let's talk about the defense a little here, Tony. 21-7 Tigers here at the half. They gave up the long drive in the first quarter, but they really settled in. Good coverage in the defensive backfield, and the linebackers with some good coverage, and they have decided we're going to come up the line of scrimmage, and they're not just going to run over us.
Well, I think the defensive line has gotten more comfortable playing against those bigger guys, using their quickness a little more and giving them kind of disrupting things a little bit, and the linebackers, making the plays. But when you have a young quarterback, too, you want him to throw the ball down the field. You want a daring to make mistakes. And he made a couple good passes, but then he's made a couple bad decisions, too. And that last decision on that last play, trying to scramble and run the football and then give it over, was a play that you can't have when you're trying to get some points on the board. But Tiger defense really got it going there in the second quarter.
And I was talking to Coach Wolford yesterday, and he said, there's going to be some mistakes, and they're young, and Cameron Garrett's new to the position, but I like Cameron Garrett, I like Netherton, I like Pate, and I like Sam Borman. I like this defensive backfield. They've just got to learn quickly where they're supposed to be because it's new to a couple of those guys.
Well, there's good athletic ability back there, and that's what you want in defensive backs. You're going to see Bowling Green, Trinity, Cincinnati St. X. You're seeing Cathedral tonight, and you have to play the speed of the game, and these guys are going to learn. But you got two guys playing safety that are 6'1" and 6'2", that are legit that tall. Corners aren't near as big, but if those guys are comfortable back there, they both, I think, can really be good players, especially late in the year in the second half.
And I thought that names that you didn't remember or didn't hear last year, Connor O'Day, I thought had a really good first half from his linebacker spot. And Cameron Sams came in and spelled some guys and gave some terrific minutes at the middle.
Yeah, and that's what you got to have. You got to have that. They played different guys up front. Schaefer's been up there. They've kind of rotated different guys, but Andrew Yules is one of the mainstays. A guy like Evan Walker, who hasn't played football in the last 2 years, is trying to get adjusted. I talked to Coach Mike Manners before, and he's working with the outside linebackers, and he said we're going to find out where he's at tonight. And I think Evan Walker's done a nice job.
Evan Walker, that entire – it's hard to tell those guys apart. They're all wearing number 90-something. You got Yules, you got Shugart coming in there, you got Schaefer
Bruner
coming in there.
They're all 90s.
I mean, everybody that's a 90, I felt like, has contributed on that defensive line in the first half.
So there's a bunch of guys we haven't.
Yeah, the Bascom brothers, and hard to tell them apart. Dennis Deemer getting some minutes, and a
lot of 90s.
And those guys really stood up to that big offensive line, especially in that second quarter. They just trying to plug the holes and let somebody else come up and tackle Marquis Stepp, which is not an easy task.
No, you're trying to tackle a guy who's a commitment to Notre Dame, who's one of the top candidates for Mr. Football. You got a line that averages 280 pounds. They got 2 300-pounders, one going to Michigan.
Yeah, he's running behind the Michigan guy.
Hey, but you know what? This is good. These guys, for the Tigers, inexperienced, and they're starting to get a feel. And you know what? Sometimes when you get out there and you realize that these guys aren't that much better than you, all of a sudden you start playing better when things go your way.
We will take one more break, come back with second half action. The Irish heading back out on the field. Tigers still in the locker room. 21-7, St. X leads it over Cathedral here at the half. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Is that Eminem?
Stand by for live second half action.
Yeah.
What do the Tigers play at halftime? They play Eminem.
When you're not cheering on your favorite
I don't want to talk about that on the internet. I don't want to talk about it.
Project, Sunbelt Rentals has the equipment you need. From hand tools to excavators, we've got you covered.
Oh, let's see.
525 locations.
If you listen during the commercials, fans, just turn it off. So.
Bittenbender got sent out to South Holden and Cal. Yeah.
It's supposed to be a good game.
The Albany 20, Providence nothing.
Location nearest you. So what are you waiting for? Get it done. Rent it now.
Are you thinking of taking a cruise or quick weekend escape? Knights Travel can meet
Highlands
all
up
your travel
15-9 on Cooper.
Knights Travel is
Who
Louisville's
is?
premier
Highlands beating
full-service
Cooper
travel
15-9 at half.
specializing in
Cooper?
customized vacations.
Cooper Manning?
For more information, visit knightstravel.com or contact St. X alum Lou Conklin at 292-4750.
Look at this crowd they got at the sales, and they got St. X coming in next year.
Oh, no.
Fly by nights.
It's scary, huh?
I'm pretty handy around my
Paul
house.
Bird is training to beat the freeze. Did you know that? You know that guy that runs around here?
I was there. I've seen him in person. I saw the freeze get beat, John. I was there one night the freeze got beat.
What's up, Timothy?
They even have standby generators and offer 24-hour emergency service, even if you're not in Old Town. Trust me, don't mess with
Yeah. And no wonder they get along so well.
Oh, that would have been good. You should have just done that to torment.
I'm gonna 20 years. Signs Now. Metro Louisville's go-to source for custom signs and banners. Vehicle lettering, trade show displays, lighted signs, you name it. We deliver durable, high-impact graphics and quick.
Roger Bacon High School in
Gosh,
Cincinnati.
that would have been great if you'd have put that down in the corner. Just
want proof? Just ask the Physic Impact.
You should.
You should one time.
For more information,
Let us know when you're doing it so we can laugh on the air.
or visit us online at signsnow.com.
Does Joey
Now-
Votto?
You're listening to exclusive
When I was at the Braves game, we were there 2 nights.
Jefferson County
The
High
Freeze
School
got beat.
football on the Bissig Impact
Does,
Sports
does Joey
Radio
Votto get in the Hall of Fame?
This season's
We'll
live
wait and see.
play-by-play coverage is sponsored by the Eye Care Institute. Call St. X grad Dr. Brennan Green at 589-1500 or visit the website at eyecareinstitute.com.
Hey, Todd.
Nights
Todd.
travel. Fly by nights. It's the best way to travel. Courier Journal. The Courier Journal. Now with expanded high school sports coverage. Sundays in print and at courier-journal.com. DFH. Call Don, Chris, or Alex.
I'm going to say hi to Clay. He's listening in Clemson. You know he's at Clemson now. Do you know that?
I remember that, actually.
Learn more at stx.com or call 502-637-4712. St. X High School. This is where you start. Events LLC.
All right, man.
Custom designs uniquely.
Did they already put another 3 minutes up? I think they did.
I think so. Yeah, Tigers were it. They would have been out. Right. You know, we haven't seen Harkins. We haven't seen Andre. Guys that they want to play. Because these guys.
Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, and Todd Powers.
Back at St. X, Brother Thomas More Stadium for the season opener. John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, and Todd Powers getting a lot of love tonight. Helping us out on stats. 21-7, St. X leads Cathedral here at the break, and the Irish will get the ball to start the second half, which is about a minute and a half away. Tony, how important is it to not necessarily stop, but slow down the Irish here on this first drive and try to keep them out of the end zone, because Tigers went into the locker room with the momentum.
Yeah, I think if you talk to both coaches here, this first possession is huge for both teams. If you're Coach Strife over there at Cathedral, you want to go put points on the board. You don't want to give St. X a chance to string it out more. And if you're Coach Wolford, hey, let's get a stop and get the football back. We're moving it really well. So, it's the strength of both teams. We came in here looking for offense and maybe not seen as much out of the Irish so far, but we still have a second half to go, and there's a lot of football to be played here for the Thomas More Stadium.
Don't forget, fans, you can stream the home games this year as we did last year at stx.com, or you can go to Live Sportscaster if you want to watch it tomorrow or the day after that. Go to livesportscaster.com, and all the games will be archived on there so you can check it out. We got an added feature this year, Tony. We've got replay that you and I get to watch while we're broadcasting, and it's helped out a couple times. It's hard to remember to look down at it, though.
Yeah, they do.
We've never had it before.
They do a great job giving us all this stuff up here. St. X does, and then Tim Bryan at McCarthy, they do a great job of getting us what we need, and can't ask for a better situation than me and you have. We got our own press box here, got all the amenities we want, great view. Great thing. So if you're listening to us and you really want to go back and watch the game, go back and watch it any day during the week. It's great. I go back and watch them a lot of times.
Tigers will kick to start the second half. Head coach Will Wolford, in his comments at the break, very pleased with what he saw out of his team. And I thought one of the words he brought up there was their toughness. He was very pleased with the toughness of his team against a very physical Indianapolis Cathedral team.
Yeah, and I think if you're Cathedral, you're a little shook, because you expect to come out here with Marquise Stepp and put points on the board at him, and he's got it right at 100 yards, but he was dominating the game in the first quarter. And once again, you made a great comment. Haven't seen a whole lot of him in the second quarter. It's been Purcell, and the Tigers will take that.
I have a feeling after he put the ball on the ground, even though the Irish got it back, Coach Strife not real happy. He does not want, as any coach doesn't want that football put on the ground. And when you got Marquise Stepp, if he can hold on to the football, he's going to go forward.
Yeah, and you figure we saw him break some tackles early in the game, which give the Tiger defense some credit too on that. But we'll get ready to start here. The second half of play. 24 minutes left in this football game, where the Tigers lead going into the second half, 21-7.
Bo Sanders and Dejon Collins go deep. Collins has been very involved here tonight, the number 1 receiver for the Irish. And Kyle Nally would kick it away from the school toward the baseball field. This one's high, and it's going to drive Collins back. They fake the reverse, does Collins, and he is hit by his own man, I think, at about the 6 and fought forward about the 9-yard line. Boy, that had disaster written all over it. It was a fake end around on the kickoff, but first, Dejan Collins dropped the ball, had to go pick it up, then fake the reverse, and then it was just trouble.
Well, they did it the first kickoff. They faked the reverse, and it worked for them. But, boy, the timing goes out of play when you drop the football. And whoever the Tiger was did a great job of getting down the field, and he should get credit for the play. But I think the Irish player who drilled his own guy, now they start at their own 9-yard line.
1st and 10. Step to the right of Purcell. Purcell, the sophomore and a quarterback. Low snap, kicks it backwards, and he falls on it at the 1-yard line.
Evan Walker
had his sights on that football. It fell to the ground, and then Purcell actually kicked it with his right foot backwards and had to dive back and fall on it at the 1. It's a loss of about 8 yards.
Yeah, just a low snap that Purcell can't do anything with, and luckily for him it didn't go into the end zone, and he would have had to fall on it or try to pick it up.
And I believe he was just going to hand it to Marquis Stepp. It certainly appeared that way. He'll be under center here on 2nd and long.
You got to be careful here too, John. You don't want Stepp to break through that line.
2 tight ends and 1 receiver each way. Quarterback up the middle, hit right away. That might be Walker again. It's actually Andrew Ewells who hits Purcell as he tries to just quarterback sneak in a room. Got a yard to the 2. It's 3rd and 17.
And he just kind of put his head down and got behind his big guy and just pushed forward. Nothing really there. So if the Tigers can get a stop here, they should get great field position.
Purcell sends 2 receivers to the left. He's got Voigt in at fullback, and they're arguing, he and Purcell, and Stepp the tailback. Now Purcell looks to the sideline. Are they going to have to burn a timeout here? Well, a penalty is only 1 yard, so takes a snap, gives it to Stepp. Off left tackle, big hole, tripped up at the 10 to the 15, fighting his way to about the 16, brought down 3 yards shy of the first down. Boy, he's tough.
He is, and he bounced off some guys. Tigers trying to do everything they can to get him down, but there's a flag on the play. This could be a huge penalty if it's against the Tigers.
And it looks like it is going to be against St. X. No. Illegal formation is called, so it's half the distance to the 1 yard line, or you take the play and go 4th down and kick it away. Make them kick it away.
I think you take the play, John. Even though they had a decent game, they got to kick it. They're not. Well,
wow.
Ask Jim if there's an option there.
There has to be an option. There was no whistle.
Jimmy, tell us about that real
Jim?
quick.
Yeah, defensive has the choice. Coach Wolford walked out there on the field, and they said they're pushing him back, taking the 1 yard.
Well,
as you mentioned on the penalty, I mean that's not a dead ball penalty.
Tony, I guess you're figuring if you
keep them there.
You know what? If they get a first down now, then we deserve it. It is 3rd and 18 from the 1 yard line. High backfield.
They might throw it.
And they're still in illegal formation. No receiver came up to the line of scrimmage. The ball's on the ground. And big number 78, the offensive lineman, fell on it. Andy Gould, just outside of the end zone. So good decision to take the
move by Coach Wolford. We both agreed with it, and now the Tigers will make the Irish kick out of the back of their end zone here on the first possession. All kinds of things went wrong there for the Cathedral Irish out of Indianapolis.
So Seeger stands back at about the 35-yard line.
Scoot up.
He actually backs up when you told him to scoot up. Sylvia boots it out of there. Good high driving kick, and Seeger all the way back to the 43. Running to the left hash mark. Goes out of bounds on the Cathedral side, and a flag comes in. It's probably going to be a block in the back against the Tigers at about the 32-yard line. Boy, that one from... Now, the one thing you can't do there is hit anybody.
And it was
he's running out of bounds.
Just a bad decision by a Tiger.
Seeger did a nice job of running to the sideline and catching the ball. He had to get there quickly because that ball was boomed out of there by Sylvia. going to be a block in the back against the Tigers. The flag is on the 32, so that'll push them back to the 42-yard line.
Penalty is a block in the back on the Tigers.
Yeah,
but great field position in any event. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. The defense does a great job. And in fact, Cathedral kind of self-destructed. A fumble on 1st down, a fumble on 3rd down, the penalty. They really hurt themselves.
They did, and luckily for the Tigers that they kept them in there. But a break actually for Cathedral to get the Tigers, and they still have great field position, don't get me wrong, but they could have had a lot better. So Tiger offense on the field for the first time here in the second half, led by Jack Albers at quarterback.
1st and 10 at the Cathedral 43, 21-7. Tigers lead it, 9:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. Albers in the shotgun. Give it to Metzmeyer, up the gut, hit, nowhere to go, bounces out of it and gets a couple where there was nothing down to the 41-yard line. Good job by Brett Metzmeyer's second effort to turn nothing into a couple yards.
Well, John, did you come out and run that to set up that pass across the middle early and see what you can get?
And you have to think Rick Strife went in there and said, guys, we got to shore up our pass defense across the middle. 2nd and 8. Albers in the shotgun, takes a snap, quickly this time, rolling to the right, being chased out of there, going to throw, and it is almost picked off. I think he was going for Mueller, but he undershot it. Diving for it was William Chapman, and he could not come up with it, and it's 3rd and long.
Well, a ton of pressure came from the weak side, and Hugh Davis, the Boston College commit, was running him down and actually hit Albers right as he threw the football, and that could have been disastrous for the Tigers.
3rd down and 8 for the Tigers at the 41-yard line of Cathedral. Big play here for the Irish defense.
And remember, the 2nd and 3rd possession of the first half, Tigers went 3 and out. They've scored 3 touchdowns on the other ones.
3 to the right, that's the wide side. 1 receiver to the left, that's Will Crum. Straight drop for Albers. In trouble, cuts back inside, makes one man miss, and he's got open field to the 35, 30, 25, cuts out of bounds, steps out of bounds, inside the 20. And that's, you just can't defend that. Jack Albers, once the first guy misses at the 45, he's off to the races.
Well, Barrow came from his middle linebacker spot, and he's actually the guy that was running him down, but Albers made him miss, and boy, that was all Jack Albers on that play.
Tigers in the green zone at the 17-yard line after a gain of 24 on 3rd and 8.
Wow, and it looked like that the Irish had him back on there. Little equipment problem with Aaron Curley.
So Curley has to come out. That's the Tigers tackle.
Parker Noll Jr. goes in a first substitution we've seen on the offensive line tonight, and that's one they had to do.
Tigers in the green zone brought to you by the Eye Care Institute, Dr. Brennan Green. 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. Crum is wide to the left. That's the short side. Seeger, Mueller, and Allgaier wide to the right. Empty backfield. Albers wants to throw. It's a little bubble screen and hammered immediately. Maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage was Ben Seeger.
Tackled by number 23, Dylan Stewart.
Well, they do give him about the 17. It'll be 2nd. We'll call it 10. It's a long 10.
Well, Stewart's the guy they've gone after, and when he comes up quick. So he's the guy you want to make bite on one of those plays where you stick it in there and pull it out. Take it across the middle right here, John.
He's got Metzmeyer back there with him. No receivers to the left. Got 2 to the right. And 2 H-backs in there. Metzmeyer gets the call, running right, gets a great block, cuts inside at the 10, and down the sideline, stepped out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. He got a tremendous block from, I think it was Ben Mueller, cracking back from his wide receiver spot here, Tony. Right there, Mueller, well, right there, people can't see it if they're listening on the radio, but Ben Mueller with a great block. And it's 1st and goal, gain of 11 to the 6-yard line.
And then give Metzmeyer some credit on that one, too. He made that play on his own. He got the one block, but he also kept going and to get that ball down there to the 6-yard line.
Tigers with strong formation again. 2 H-backs in there, Metzmeyer as well. Hand off to Brett, up the middle, big hole, touchdown, St. X Tigers right up the gut. Brett Metzmeyer, his 3rd of the night.
Well, he goes behind 6, and he goes behind Canada, Smock, Ferris, and Curley. And I tell you what, Metzmeyer did an unbelievable job. Is he hesitated just for a second, let somebody clean a block up, goes in untouched, and the Tigers lead 27-7. 7:52 left here in the 3rd, and the Tigers get their 4th touchdown of the football game as Alan Matija comes on to attempt the extra point.
Jude Carlton with the hold. Kick is up, and the kick is good. 28-7, St. X leading Cathedral. 7:52 to go, third quarter. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
It was impressive.
Yes, it was.
Well, Metzmeyer did a great job on that run.
Him and Albers both there. Albers with the third down run. You know, if the first guy misses him.
Yeah. You know, it's the old Kentucky thing when they're playing defense. If you don't get him, everybody's playing man coverage. He's running for a long time.
And you know what? Barrel wasn't going to catch him. The other guy came and forced him. But if Barrel's not there with him, I think he cuts back in.
Yeah, I think he does too.
But he knew Barrel was right there. If I try to cut back in, this guy's going to kill me. Smart.
Yeah, I've been impressed so far.
Yeah, with the and defense too. Defense is,
you know, you give him a couple breaks.
Yeah.
Shoot yourself in the foot a few times, and then all of a sudden the defense has got you in a bad spot.
Give us a call at 583.
But you know what? You still got a lot of football games. You got 20 minutes.
I agree.
Innovative, integrated marketing.
Like at St. X, John, Tony, Jim, and Todd. 28-7, Tigers scoring their first possession of the third quarter. Nally will kick it away. And this one is towards Collins again, and he'll take it at the 2, sort of a line drive. This time they do run the end around. Sanders has it running to the right side. He's across the 20 and tripped up at about the 25-yard line. Not bad coverage by the Tigers that time. Nathan Skrodsky. Been waiting to call that name. Skrodsky with the trip up on the Irish sideline, right at the 25-yard line. So trickeration worked a little bit, but not too much for the Irish. Jim Brinkman, impressive start to this third quarter for the Tigers.
Yeah, exactly what Coach Wolford was saying at halftime. Hey, it's going to be important them first 2 drives, and Tigers passed the test.
Yeah, they sure did in flying fashion. Negative yardage for Cathedral, and then a tidy little 43-yard touchdown drive. Purcell is under center, or is this Purcell, Tony? It is. He'll hand it to Stepp, running left, hit it in the line of scrimmage, fights his way forward, not much there. Tigers just gang tackling Marquis Stepp, and that's pretty much the only way to tackle him.
Well, Connor O'Day came from his outside linebacker spot and just got a piece of him as he went by, just enough to get him off stride, and then the rest of the Tigers come in and clean the play up.
James Shepard in one of those cornerback spots now. The Tigers with high hopes for James Shepard.
And John, what do you do if you're Cathedral? Do you stay with what you do best, run the ball, or do you have to take a few chances as the game goes on?
I think both, but I do still think Marquis Stepp's a guy that can go the distance on any play. And they will give it to him again right up the middle, big hole, and this unfortunately is just what I talked about. Marquis Stepp is gone right up the gut. He's to the 10-5. Touchdown Cathedral, 73 yards. And Marquis Stepp off tackle that time, got a couple of blocks, and that's all it takes for him.
Well, one thing some of the St. X defensive backs are going to learn, that when you're playing against a Division I commit to Notre Dame, you can't run at him. You got to go where he's going and make a play. And a couple of Tigers, when they came up from their defensive back spot, were trying to come at Stepp, and then all of a sudden he was gone. So Cathedral gets right back on the board, and they answer the St. X touchdown with Marquis Stepp.
73 yards for the touchdown for Marquis Stepp, his first of the night. And Sylvia in for the extra point. Gets it up and through. 28-14. I should go to Vegas after calling it like that.
Unfortunately, if you're a Tiger fan.
And Jim Brinkman, that's almost kind of the first time he really hasn't been touched. The Tigers have been getting hands and arms on him all night long, even when he's had some gains. That time, pretty much untouched.
Yeah, you mentioned that they had the gang tackle on the play before that, and there was no gang on the 73-yard scamper there. He really showed exactly. We have to remember he rushed for 1,300 yards
as
a sophomore, and that's pretty equivalent to what Sam Taylor did last year. So, or a little bit better. So that's as a sophomore, and I'm sure he's gotten bigger and faster over the last 2 years.
And he had a year last year, Tony, with a bad hamstring where all he could do was pretty much work on his upper body, and he's a man.
He is, and he showed good speed right there. He outran everybody. Plus, he good vision as he goes through. But the Tiger defensive backs are going to learn a little lesson right there, that you can't come up and go after him like you think you can with a lot of guys. But that's okay. Tiger offense, keep it going. They got a 14-point lead with 6:55 left here in the third quarter.
28-14, and Sylvia will kick it away. Any trickeration here by the Irish?
Nope.
Doesn't appear like it. And it is. It's an onside kick. And coming up to kick, the only Tiger that came up and took it right at midfield.
Number 4.
That's Drew Spencer, Tony. Listed as a fullback. But I tell you what he did great is he found that ball and he cradled it and went straight to the ground. And that, Tony, there's no other Tiger in the picture.
At least 5 Cathedral guys running alongside the kicker, and Spencer just comes up, falls on the football. It does what they teach you. Now Tigers have the ball inside Cathedral territory at the 49.
First down and 10. Albers in the shotgun. He's got Metzmeyer with him. He'll give it to Brett. Up the middle, not much there. Fights for a yard. Barrow makes the tackle at the 48-yard line. It'll be second down and 9 with 6:40 to go here in the third quarter.
Thought the Tigers might take a shot on that play because Cathedral's walking up getting excited, and it might have been the time to take it, but nope, got about a yard on the play, I guess. So Tigers do have the ball just inside the 48-yard line of Cathedral territory as the clock runs. 6:20 left here in the third, 14-point Tiger lead.
2 fullbacks in again. Mueller left, Crum to the right. Varga and Zoller, the H-backs. Quick throw to the right. Hit as he threw. It's caught. That is Varga with the catch. Jack Varga, and he has the first down. Knocked out of bounds on the St. X sideline at the 35-yard line, gain of 13.
Well, I told you earlier in the game that Varga's a guy that they'll get the ball to. Watched him play a lot in the JV last year, and they threw it to him a ton. And when he caught it, there was nobody there, and the coach was yelling, get up the field, and he does for the first down to the Cathedral 35-yard line.
First and 10 Tigers. Crum and Mueller both on the left side. I like it when those two big guys line up on the same side. Metzmeyer goes wide to the right now. This has the makings of a quarterback run here. Now Metzmeyer in motion. They fake it to him. Here comes Albers up the middle. Finds a little hole. Gets inside the 35. Fights his way to about the 32. Gain of 3. And that time Jack just got low and tried to find some space. Not much space there.
And if you can keep getting a hat on a hat, and if you watch Cathedral's defense, which we're doing right here, they keep walking up, John. The outside linebackers keep walking up. They keep walking up because they want to get the football back.
3 yards on the play. It'll be second and 7.
Shotgun again. Here is Metzmeyer running left. Hit at the line of scrimmage and drop.
9 guys up there.
No gain on the play. Hugh Davis, first man there for the Irish, and it'll be third down and 8.
And I don't think you'll see the Tigers do it here, but something that I would like to see. They're putting the 2 big guys on one side, and they're getting straight man coverage on the weak side without a safety. You do a little hitch and go or run him on a post pattern, you got straight man coverage.
Tigers have been good on third down here. They're going to need another one here, third and 8. Albers alone in the backfield. He's got 2 receivers each way. Takes a snap. Wants to throw, in trouble, steps up, running to the left, has one man to go through, and he does. He runs right through the defender across the 25 for the first down. Jack Albers knew exactly where he had to get to, and he got there.
One thing in the preseason Coach Wolford talked about is Albers is one of the fastest guys on the team, and when that breaks down and there's nobody there, but he did a great job at the end of that play, John, taking on 2 defenders and making sure that he got the first down as the clock runs. 4:30 left here in the third, 28-14 Tigers.
He needed 8 yards. He got about 9.5. Ball inside the 24, first and 10 for the Tigers. Shotgun for Albers, got Metzmeyer with him. Now Algar in motion from right to left. Fake it to Dominic. Actually, he wanted to get it to him, I think, but the defender was right there. So Jack just pulled it down and got hit back at the 26, loss of a couple.
Yeah, right read, just nothing there. That time, give the defensive credit. They blew the play up. But you know what? Sometimes a play is not there. Albers made the right decision. And the Tigers lose probably 2 yards, but once again, it could have been a whole lot worse if he makes the wrong decision.
Second down and 12. 2 to the right, 1 to the left.
They got straight man on the weak side again.
That is Crum on that side by himself. Jack takes a snap, rolls right. It's the option, keeps it running right and hit and dropped. at the line of scrimmage. Not much there. He turned it up quickly that time, thought he saw a hole, but I'll tell you, Barrow and Davis closed it quickly.
Yeah, and like I said, they're just creeping up and they're creeping up and they're creeping up. And second down to me would have been the play right there, maybe to go play action. Now they're going to probably drop back a little bit, play a little more coverage defense. And the Tigers and Jack Albers, who's done a great job on third down, put themselves in a 3rd and 13 from the Cathedral 26-yard line.
Seeger comes in, Metzmeyer comes out. So 4 receivers in the pattern. In motion. Fake handoff. Albers in trouble. Rolls right. In trouble back at the 38-yard line and dumped for a big loss. Loss of 12. Make it 11. They'll give him the 37. First sack of the night, I believe, for the Cathedral defense. And the Tigers will try to pin the Irish down here.
Well, the bad part about that play is if you don't lose all those yards, even though it's going to be 4th and long, you can run another play if you feel like it. I mean, I'm not saying they would or they're not, but now you actually give Nally some room to punt the ball. But, boy, you move the ball down there and then things kind of break down on you.
And some life now for Cathedral, as Nally will try to put one in the coffin corner here.
Got to protect him, though.
Collins is standing at his own 9-yard line. High snap. Nally brings it down, boots it out of there high. Collins will take it without a fair catch at the 10, runs up the middle, and he's tripped up as he crosses the 20. Nice job by Dejon Collins. Kind of dangerous, but it worked out. He got it out to the 24-yard line.
Yeah, it actually ended up being a great decision, but, boy, that could have been one of those ones that just, could have gone wrong because the Tigers had guys down there. But then again, if he splits them right there, he could have been running for a long time.
1st and 10, Cathedral at their own 24, 1:56 left to go here in the third quarter. St. X leads it 28-14. And Roman Purcell, the sophomore, will bring his team to the line of scrimmage. Step is to the left of Purcell. It's a passing formation, looks like. No, they hand it inside. No, actually, yep. And not much there for
did he slip?
Step. He must have just fallen down because O'Day was heading towards him, but there was really no contact. He's actually looking at the turf right now.
Oh, turf monster. That's a new field. They put a few monsters in it from the Tiger side.
Loss of a couple. That was an odd-looking play. Because he bounced back up quickly, so it was almost like he didn't fall. 2nd and 12 after the loss of 2. 2 receivers to the right. Make it 3 with Collins the widest. 1 receiver to the left, that's Hall. Play action, keeping it as Purcell this time, running to the left, not much there. Tigers stayed home. Ball came out, but already down was Purcell. Cameron Garrett was up there in on the tackle.
Wow.
And Purcell's still down, Tony.
Trying to figure out, John, who actually, if it was the corner, I think Pate or Evan Walker who made the play, but somebody turned that play back in and did a phenomenal job, and Purcell is hurt.
Yep, that's his left leg, and he had his teammates help him up, and now he is limping.
And, John, they have 2 sophomore quarterbacks, so it'll be interesting if they bring in Owen Edwards, who's a 6-foot sophomore who has not had any varsity experience either. And we'll see what happens here.
I would go to the Wildcat with Marquis Step.
I was getting ready to say it. I'd snap it to Step and say, all right, he's going to run it. Now y'all tackle him.
Yeah, you might have 11 guys coming at him, but I still think he's got a chance. So he got twisted up a little bit, did Purcell on the tackle, I guess. Jim, you were down there right in front of it. What happened to Roman Purcell?
Well, a couple things. The play before that, when Marcus Step went down, I think he was looking for him to be the decoy and the fake to him. He was very, very surprised that he had the ball, and I think he just went down because he was losing control of the ball.
The fans on the internet are loving this picture of Jim Brinkman, number 86. It looks like Roger Bacon High School on the internet. Jim, it looks good, I got to tell you.
Okay.
We'll come back and talk about that in a little bit.
All right.
3rd and long, the new quarterback in, and he's running out of there across the 25, gets a couple of blocks. He's going to get the first down and more across the 40 and pushed out of bounds near the 50-yard line. That is Orrin Edwards, who came in. He was in trouble in the backfield, and he made a whole lot out of nothing.
Yeah, he breaks to the outside, and when he broke to the outside, there wasn't any containment by the Tigers, and when that happened, he just took off and went all the way down to the 50-yard line for the first down for the Irish from Cathedral.
He'll stay in there at quarterback, and you have to think he's just going to hand it off to Marquis Stepp a few times now. He does on this first down. Stepp, big hole up the middle, 10 yards, 15, before he is dropped at the 36-yard line. Big hit by the Tigers. Cameron Garrett came up and made the hit.
And John, gain
of 14.
Big 70. Ben Treese, 6'5", 285, just pancaked the Tiger, and that opened it up for Stepp to run the football. Tigers look a little confused on defense. They better hustle.
It's not going to matter because that's the end of the third quarter. Clock runs out. You were right, though. If they snap the ball, it's trouble. 28-14, St. X leads. 12 minutes of football to go. We'll be back. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hey, St. X fans. Want to learn more about how your eyes work? It's time you visit the Eye Care Institute. Again this year, Dr. Brennan Green has been named a top
last
doc
drive
by
that we didn't
Louisville
get
Magazine.
anything.
Dr. Green and the doctors at the Eye Care
It'll hurt.
Institute
Yep.
can meet all your vision
What do you
needs.
got him for?
For more information or to schedule an appointment with Dr. Green,
We were about
at the
10
Eye
short,
Care
you think?
Institute, visit eyecareinstitute.com
about 180.
or call 589
How many touchdowns?
1500.
It's gotta be
That's
two.
589 1500.
Do you need to go
Did he get
outside
both?
your house to cool down?
Did
Stepp
Stepp score both touchdowns?
No.
Okay, he's just got one
I
touchdown.
don't know. You know what? No. It was a pass, remember?
That's right. It was a pass to the corner.
2-yard pass.
Couldn't remember.
The sales is now up 28-15.
Are they?
Remember, it's hard to stop a
Trains up
Ask
24-0.
DFH by their expert service
69-yard run by
repair
Luke
any big
McGuire.
remote. Call DFH 968-6222 or visit dfhcompany.com for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions.
Fourth quarter ready to go here at Brother Thomas More Stadium. John, Tony, Jim, and Todd. 28-14. St. X with the lead. They got a third touchdown from Brett Metzmeyer early in that third quarter, but a 73-yard run for a touchdown by Marquis Stepp has gotten Cathedral back in it. And it is Irish ball, 1st and 10.
Stepp 14 carries for 189 right now.
A clock adjustment. We have
I was going to say, Tony, weren't they going that way anyway?
in the third quarter.
So there's a half a second left here in the third quarter.
Half a second.
This is crazy. You never know what you're going to get.
So when they move the down markers,
Well, it's 1st and 10 anyway at the 36-yard line of St. X for Cathedral as they threaten to get within a touchdown here. And the quarterback is still, I believe, number 12, Orrin Edwards.
I'll throw it.
He wants to throw. Now a little quick one over the middle for about 10 yards and another first down.
Number 10, Derek Hall is complete.
Derek Hall with the catch. And that will end the third quarter now, which will give us a chance to take our first fourth quarter break. I like the way that worked out. We'll take a break. 28-14, St. X leads it. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Ask you a
Hello,
question.
everybody. This is Larry Bissig on behalf of the Bissig Impact Center. We have room for 2 tenants here at the Bissig Impact Center, right on 4th Street in the heart of downtown Louisville. Call me direct if your medium-sized business is looking for a new place to locate. 583-0333. That's 583-0333. The Bissig Impact Center, home for your business.
Planning an event for thousands? At Events LLC, designers are available to provide custom production and creative design services to coordinate
Well,
your perfect event.
12 minutes of
Hosting
football.
a smaller gathering? Try their rental, installation, and delivery
I'm probably going out to PRP next week. I mean, your wife's having surgery Wednesday, but Bowling Green's playing out there. I'm at least going to go out for a half, probably.
Yeah, I'm actually supposed to play softball Saturday and Sunday in town. So there ain't no way Friday I'll go out. I doubt it. Stay home.
I'm just telling you.
Appreciate it.
Back at Brother Thomas More Stadium. Now we are ready to start the fourth quarter. 28-14, St. X leads Cathedral. But the Irish have a 1st and 10 at the St. X 26-yard line as we start this final 12 minutes.
And kind of what we were expecting to see more out of Cathedral is Marquise Stepp, and he's having a big game. But now that the other quarterback, Edwards, has come in, he's kind of made things happen just running around.
And he will start this play under center. I backfield behind him. Voigt in front of Marquise Stepp. Quick throw to the left. Caught by Collins at the 26. Nobody with him. He's to the 20, to the 10, and he's got a first down inside the 10 at about the 7-yard line. There was nobody near Dave John Collins, who's the number 1 receiver.
Well, blame that on the Tigers. They're seeing the I formation. They stack it in, and whoever's out there, somebody has to have the responsibility when there's 2 guys out there. You can't leave one. And a great call by Coach Strife and the staff from Cathedral. Now Cathedral's knocking on the door, trying to cut this 14-point lead down.
First and goal at the 7-yard line. Edwards under center. This time he'll hand it to Stepp, running up the middle, and he's going to go over a couple of Tiger defenders and into the end zone from 7 yards out. Second touchdown of the night for Marquise Stepp, and that was quick.
It sure was, and momentum's changed here at St. X High School as the Irish from Cathedral go in and cut this down to 28-20. 11:40 left in the game with the extra point coming. Attempt by Silva.
Bo Sanders will hold it, and Sylvia will kick it, and he has a whale of a leg. Good snap, good hold. Kick is through. Might hit the scoreboard. It did. Hit the lower part of the scoreboard. 28-21, St. X leads. 11:40 to play. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Better answer here because they're rolling up front. I think they're starting to take control of the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
But that can't happen. I don't care if they're running the ball every play. If there's 2 guys out there, you got to have 2 guys out there.
There's nobody near.
No, when he called
the best receiver.
Yeah, and they got one guy blocking the other guy. That's a breakdown, but somebody can't happen.
Do you need to go outside your house to cool down? Just staying in bed make you feel like you have swamp.
You know, Mueller and Crum had 2 catches apiece for a total of 80 yards, and we haven't even thrown it to them at all. I can figure out how many. It's 20 yards a catch, right?
Nobody said you was ignorant.
8 years at St. X, still paying off.
Back at St. X, John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, and Todd Powers. 28-21 as Cathedral has come off the mat to get back in this ball game. Sylvia with a high, deep kick into the end zone, about 7 yards deep. And St. X will start at their own 20-yard line. And as we talked about in the break, Tony, the Tigers got to get a little momentum back, got to get a little more, little offense going here. Take some chances, maybe.
Yeah, getting a little stagnant. They moved the ball well last time, and it kind of broke down. But see what the Tigers have in store here. Like I said, Cathedral's selling out too. You know, they're all coming up trying to cut that run down. And I would like to see on first or second down maybe play action instead of waiting to third and maybe get an opportunity.
So Albert sends Crum to the right. That's the short side. He's got Mueller and Allgaier to the left. First and 10. Metzmeyer in the backfield as Jack looks to the sideline.
Wouldn't mind seeing him come left here if Purcell can get out here and get the linebacker.
Fake to Metzmeyer. Play action. Albers has time. Throws it high and deep and overshot. Well overshot Mueller, his intended receiver at the 40-yard line. Good coverage on the play, but again, Tony, you got a 6'4" receiver going against a 5'7" defensive back. If that throws on the money, it's a catch.
Yeah, it's just a little high. And Tigers do take that shot on first down that we actually wanted them to see. Not bad coverage by Cathedral on the play either.
Second and 10. Same personnel in there. Allgaier's in the slot now. I expect him to go in motion. He does. Metzmeyer in the backfield. Fake it to Allgaier. Give it to Metz up the middle. Big hole across the 25-30. 35 and hauled down by a couple of tacklers out near the 40-yard line. Boy, that hole opened quickly, and boy, Metzmeyer hit it even more quickly.
Yeah, Smock on that side, and Curley did a great job of sealing their blocks, and Metzmeyer just rolled off their shoulders and rolled down to the Tiger 39-yard line. Tigers moving quickly here.
Gain of 19, first and 10 for the Tigers. Cathedral shows blitz. The Tigers, Jack Albers looks to the sideline, tells Algar, who started in motion, stay right there. Let's get the play here. 2 receivers to the left. Now Algar in motion again. Fake it to him, give it to Metz up the middle, across the 40 to the 44, hauled down from behind, a gain of 5. They'll bring up 2nd and 5.
But the key to that play is seeing where those linebackers are lined up and running it in the right spot. And if the lineman can get that seal block, it gives a good gain. So 5 yards on first down for Brett Metzmeyer, and the Tigers move it out to their own 44-yard line.
2nd down and 5. Crum goes wide to the right. He's over there with Metzmeyer. Empty backfield. 2 receivers to the left as well. Now Albers will...
It's got to be hard to be the center when they stand up and everybody moves and you're still
everybody
holding on to the
stands and
football.
looks to the sideline except for Clayton 6. Quick throw to the left. Caught by Algar. Gets a block. Cuts to the 50. He's got the first down and out of bounds in Cathedral territory at about the 47-yard line. Gain of about 9 for Dominic Algar. First catch is a Tiger.
It is, John. That's one thing the Tigers told me they'd like to do with him is get him out in the open with some space. He's 6'1", 200 pounds, and he runs well, and he's tough to bring down in open space.
1st and 10 at the Irish 47. 4 receivers again. Metzmeyer to the right of Albers, and Ginter is in there in the slot. Give it to Brett Metzmeyer, running left. Cuts inside. Nice move across the 45. Tripped up at the 40. Barrow made the tackle along with Bo Sanders. Got a hand on him too, but a gain of 7. And boy, Brett Metzmeyer got there quickly.
What a great cutback by Chase Ferris, the big guy at 320. He cut the guy on the outside of him and gave Metzmeyer just enough room to get banged.
2nd and 3. Albers back there with Metzmeyer again. Now they'll stand up and look, and Clayton 6 doesn't move again. 2 receivers right and 2 to the left. Ginter in there still as well. Metzmeyer in the backfield. Quick throw to the left. They get it to Will Ginter. Cuts it outside, inside, then back out. Short of the first down, I think. It's close. Got to about the 38-yard line, maybe the 37. He needs to get to the 37 for the first down. I think he's a yard shy.
Well, I like the call because Cathedral had all 3 of their linebackers up in tight. Had them in tight, so get it out and try to make a play. Be 3rd and 1 for the Tigers here at the Cathedral 38. We're just 9.5 minutes left in the football game. Tigers lead 28-21.
Trenton Zoller back in at the H-back. In motion is Algar. They fake it to him, give it to Metzmeyer. First down and more across the 35. Lowers his shoulder. And he really put a hit on the defensive back. Manny Daniels that came in there to make the hit. And boy, Metzmeyer made a bigger hit than Manny Daniels did.
What, 5'11", 201. Metzmeyer goes in there, protects the football, then lowers him, gets those shoulders down, and takes on the defensive backs. Gets the first down. Now the Tigers have the ball at the Cathedral 32-yard line. Clock gets ready to wind with 9:30 left in the football game.
1st and 10. 3 receivers in the pattern again. In motion is Algar. They fake it to him again. Give it to Metzmeyer. Nothing there. Going to lose 3 yards on the play. And a flag comes down. And that Jack Albers was kind of lobbying for a late hit as the number 98. Joe Fennell was not letting go of Metzmeyer. He tackled him and give Jack Albers credit. Tell me that's heads up to get in the referee's ear and say that's got to be a late hit, and then the flag comes out.
Well, Coach Rick
he was
Sheriff,
probably going to call it anyway.
Yeah, Cathedral coach following the referee over, wanting an explanation, but they kept blowing the whistles and kept blowing. And you got to protect the running back because he's running backwards and can get slammed upside his head.
Jim, I think the explanation's easy. We kept blowing whistles, and your guy kept tackling.
Yeah, and you got a pretty senior crew out here. I mean, average seniority is about 25 years, so about 3 of them do college. So they're used to big hits, and if it's extraordinary contact, then yeah, they're going to call it.
So a 3-yard loss turns into a 15-yard gain. It's 1st and 10. Tigers on the brink. Not the Brinkman, but the brink of the green zone. Here's Metzmeyer again up the middle. Got about 3 before he's hit. Nice open field tackle that time by William Chapman. It's a gain of 3 down about the 17-yard line.
Give Trenton Zoller a lot of credit there. He did a nice job of throwing the block from his H-back spot to free up Brent Metzmeyer.
It's been a whole lot of Metzmeyer in this draft, Tony.
It has, and he's looked good. He's, that's the guy they really, want to rely on. They talked about Moretti getting carries, but it's been Brent Metzmeyer tonight.
19 carries, 121, and 3 touchdowns so far for Metzmeyer. He's in the backfield with Albers and 2 H-backs. 2 receivers to the right. They give it to Brett, running right. Had a little bit of room, and it cut down quickly. He's going to lose a couple here back to the 19-yard line. Well, he was one step away from getting outside and heading to the front corner of that end zone, but a nice tackle.
It was Max Worth, but Worth got up and kind of gave him a little extra, and Metzmeyer didn't take too kindly to it, but clock runs with 8 minutes left in the game. Tigers lead 28-21. Ball's on the Cathedral 19-yard line, 3rd and 9. Tigers.
I don't think you do anything crazy here, Tony. You wonder about the leg of Alan Matija. What kind of distance is he comfortable from? But you definitely, you want to get some yardage here. You don't want to go backwards. 3rd down and 9 in the green zone. Fake to Metzmeyer. Albers wants to throw. Throws. Has a man. Caught at the 7. The ball is loose. And it looks like Cathedral may. No, the Tigers got it back.
First of all, John, who caught the pass? Did you get a number?
The guy that came up with the football was Mueller. I think he's the guy that caught the pass.
Mueller, he recovered it. But what a break for the Tigers.
What a break. Ball's inside the 4-yard line, first and goal.
Who caught the pass? Was it Mueller?
I think Mueller caught it and then went back and got it. We'll check with Jim after this play. He may not know. Because these numbers are hard to see from up here.
Tigers taking their time.
Albers in the shotgun. He's got Metzmeyer with him. He'll give it to him, running right, close to the end zone, but pushed back there. There was a hole initially, but it closed quickly, and a late flag comes in. And it is Cathedral not happy again. This is going to be half the distance and an automatic first down. And the head referee is coming over to Rick Strife, who is giving it back to him. I think this is I'm tired of this conversation by the official.
And John, he's going to get flagged here in a minute. And there has been a little extra going on.
Jim Brinkman, what do you see?
Well, to answer your question, it was Ben Mueller who caught the pass, then fumbled, and then recovered his own fumble.
That's a great individual effort.
Yeah, he was not in a good position to recover that fumble. Jimmy Gutterman, I've reffed many a basketball games with him, and he got just right up in the nose of the Fighting Irish coach right there. Both of them had their say, but they both knew that they weren't going to change their minds of their opinion of that last play. Yep. So what we have is a dead ball play penalty at the end, either unsportsmanlike or personal foul. We'll see dead ball, personal foul, half the distance to the goal.
And that's going to be a 1st and goal as well. Well, I think it already was 1st and goal, but Metzmeyer got a couple yards on the play, so they'll move it right to the 1-yard line.
And there has been a lot of pushing and hitting after the play. I'm not trying to be a homer here, but there has been some extra contact. Now the Tigers have a chance to go up 2 scores.
Albers alone in the backfield this time. He's got the 2 H-backs in front of him, but he's got nobody to hand it off to. He says, wait a minute, I don't like this formation.
Metzmeyer will come back with him, I have a feeling.
Metz is alone to the right, and here he comes. And they fake it to him. Jack keeps it running up the middle, dives, and he's short of the goal line, inside the 1. The good news for the Tigers, Tony, is the clock's just going to continue to run here.
And
you're going to get another 30 seconds and maybe still score a touchdown.
Almost had bad news, too. Jack Albert's got to be careful trying to stretch that ball out in traffic, and he almost put that ball on the ground. I had the binoculars on him. You have to be careful now. And Tigers going to line up here quickly and be ready to go.
Albers, now they run up to the line of scrimmage, so it's a sneak. He keeps it, and it's nearly impossible to stop. I can't imagine it's not, but they're not giving him the touchdown.
Wow, I had the binoculars on it. Before he went down, he moved the football out.
He definitely went forward.
Well, you go for it here. There's no doubt.
So it's 4th and goal. So the down, even though they got the late hit, it's 4th down. 5:44 to go. Clock ticking. 4th and goal for the Tigers.
I go back up under center again.
Shotgun. Metzmeyer behind him. Give it to Brett up the middle. Touchdown, St. X Tigers. Tony, you're going to trust that offensive line all year. You got to do it right there.
Right. You get them in there in those tight positions, shoulder to shoulder, and you just take on whoever wants to get in front of them. They go to the right side where it's Canaday and Ferris, and they do a great job, and give Metzmeyer credit too, putting that head down and forcing his way into the end zone. Tigers lead 34-21 with the extra point coming from Alan Matija. 5:31 left in the football game.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm still giving the ball to Step.
Yep.
Matija. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up. Kick is good. 35-21 Tigers, 5:31 to go. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Watching the game is a big deal.
Truthfully,
but when it's not on,
once again,
getting high-quality party rentals for the next backyard
with the binoculars on, I thought he got in.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I mean, if you're a St. X guy, if you're Cathedral, you might not agree with me, but I thought he was not down. I was watching him, and he reached the ball out. But it's all for naught. You got 5.5 minutes left.
Game's not over.
Oh, there's a whole lot of game left here.
Now I hope they throw the ball. I do.
Remember, we're truly inspired.
I'm glad we don't have a return trip because I don't think Coach Strife thinks he's getting the calls.
Sports Awards. We're honoring athletes of the week for Metro Louisville and Southern Indiana all season long, naming all area teams for over 24 sports.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say he was getting the calls. I'm saying he definitely doesn't think he's getting the call.
This season, nominate and vote for.
That was a big penalty, but a bigger play was Mueller recovering that fumble.
Yes,
it's a heck of a throw by Albers.
Tigers St. X, John, Tony, Jim, and Todd. 35-21. Tigers stretch it back out to a 14-point lead over Indianapolis Cathedral. 5:31 to play. Kyle Nally will kick it away for the Tigers. I don't know if I'd allow Collins a chance here, but he'll get one. And he will come up and take it at the 10-yard line. They give the reverse to Sanders, and he is tripped up. Nice play.
You got there, John.
I'm going to see the guy that stayed at home. I think it was Will Ginter. Yeah, he stayed home and made first contact on Bo Sanders, able to knock him off balance a little bit, and that led to the tackle at the 22-yard line. So Will Ginter staying home.
And Matthew Hartnett making a play twice on kickoffs that he's made a play too, so he's there with him.
So 1st and 10, Cathedral. They've got their backup quarterback, Orrin Edwards, back in there. Purcell went out late in the third quarter with a lower leg injury, his left leg, and we certainly hope that young man's all right. Fumble on the snap, picked up by Stepp, and he is so good he got away from a couple Tigers in the backfield and got 3 yards out to the 25-yard line. The ball was on the ground, Tony. Stepp just picked it up and took off running, and he got hit in the backfield but got away.
Might be the most impressive carry of the night, actually, because he had to pick it up bound by his feet. He didn't pick it up on the run. Then he just took off like a jet and got out there. So a great 3-yard carry. As the clock runs down to 5 minutes, Tigers lead 35-21 here in the fourth.
The problem for the Cathedral now is the clock. It's the 12th man for the Tigers right now. Edwards in the shotgun. He's got Stepp back there with him. Wants to throw. Quick throw to the right. Caught by Hall. He's hit. Got out of the first tackle. Got close to the first down and may have it. Derek Hall with, I believe, his second catch of the night. And he got to the 33. It's a 1 yard enough for the first down.
And Jake Netherton kind of upset with himself. He came up to make the tackle and didn't get him down. But that's what you got to do. Keep him in front of you right now because the clock's running. His Cathedral is substituting. Not in a big hurry here, John.
Yep.
Going to the I formation. You got to watch the quick pass out here again.
C.J. Boyd is the fullback. They'll hand it off to Stepp. Or no, that's the backup running back, Sissel. No, it's Stepp. Sorry. And he just lowers his shoulder, gets across the 35. Gang tackled out at the 39-yard line, a gain of 6.
Cathedral using a lot of clock to get their formation set up. Right now, you got to go. You can't. There's 4 minutes left in this game. They're still formation, trying to figure out their formation.
One receiver each way. Pistol formation here. As Edwards has turned around and looked at Stepp 4 times. Now he'll take the snap. Fake it to Stepp, wants to throw high and deep, and he's got a man. It's Collins open at the 25, and he is going to be tripped up inside the 5-yard line by Jake Netherton. Just a go round, and Dejon Collins just outran people. And give Netherton credit. He stayed in the play and tripped him up. It'll be at the 4-yard line.
Well, John, that's where the inexperience of the safeties in that position. You cannot come up and expect a handoff.
Yeah. It's a gain of 56.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the Tigers.
And that'll move it to the 2. Be first and goal with 3:40 to go. We said during the break this game not far from over, and that's the kind of thing that can happen against an inexperienced defensive backfield.
Yeah, and then you can tell them you have to stay back there, but it's human nature, and then the guys haven't seen a lot of snaps, and they get beat deep. Didn't have to be a great throw. He was wide open.
Ball at the 2. Under center is Edwards. He's going to keep it himself, and did he get in? I don't think he did. Short, and that'll keep the clock moving with 3:27 to go. Just short of the goal line. It'll be second and goal. They quickly get to the line of scrimmage. Edwards just wants to do that again, I believe. He does, and this time,
I think he got in that time.
Step comes out of there with the football, but they're going to say
as the clock keeps
they're not
running,
going to let him in, and a flag comes out.
The bad part about the flag is it stops the clock right now.
Yeah, if you're the Tigers, you probably don't want that flag. It's going to be an interesting call. As I think this one official has quit. He's just going to run it. Oh, his flag's way down here. Boy, he really threw.
Calling a personal foul on St. X.
He really threw that flag. Look at that. Threw it 70 yards.
Personal foul on St. X, which
and
is
that's after
huge.
the play.
It stopped the clock as much as anything.
Yeah. 3:02 to go.
This time they'll give it to Step. They're not even going to mess with it. If I'm calling the plays, 30 touches to football here after 2 attempts of getting it in and not getting it. I know they have a huge offensive line, but here we go.
Under center is Edwards. He is going to give it to Marquise Step. He dives, and he just does get in, but he does get in for his 3rd touchdown of the night. Marquise Step from the yard out. And with 2:56 to go, Cathedral back in this thing once again.
Well, you just can't give up the big play. I mean, it's different if a guy makes a great catch, but when he runs wide open down the middle of the field, you had a 14-point lead. Now you have an 8-point lead with the extra point coming with 2:56 as Silva comes on to attempt the extra point. Big extra point here.
Yep. He's been pure all night long, and he is again. It is 35-28 Tigers, 2:56 to go. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Hey, St. X fans.
Well,
want to learn more about how your eyes work?
Expected a good game. Expected some points. We're getting it, but
I think I said 42-35, 35-28.
What a bad time for a breakdown.
Yeah.
Dr. Green and the doctors at the Eye Care Institute.
And you know, you're right.
All your vision needs.
If they hand it off, so what?
If he runs down the field, you tackle him.
If you're Cameron Garrett or whoever the other safety is next to you, Borman, you just say, let somebody else tackle him. I'm guarding this. I'm playing deep.
You can't let your bad instincts take over and think you got to tackle 30. That's a great call.
Yeah. Butler beat Bullet East 53-0. It was a war.
Somebody, Inch told me he saw them. He said their Bullet East was terrible. He had them in scrimmage.
Find and save on everything you need in one easy stop.
Fern Creek beat Seneca 52-0. Seneca's in Trinity's district. J-Town got beat 50-0. They're in Trinity's district.
What's the Trinity score?
Back at Brother Thomas More Stadium, 35-28. St. X with the lead, 2:56 to play. You know, that first half flew. The second half is not flown. Kickoff by Sylvia, and he boots it through the end zone. So Coach Strife is going to tell his defense, I'm counting on you guys to get a stop.
Yep, that's what the Tigers need right here.
Now, Cathedral does have all 3 timeouts left, so you would assume if the Tigers don't make any gains here, the Cathedral coaching staff probably uses those timeouts on defense.
Well, I expect to see Metzmeyer up the middle, and you figure Cathedral's going to come up, and one of two things can happen there. They can stop you, or you can get into that defensive backfield. See how they line up defensively.
Crum and Mueller go to the right. Metzmeyer comes to the left. Empty backfield for Albers. He's got Varga and Zoller as the H-backs. Now Metzmeyer, as we expected, goes back into the backfield on 1st and 10. Albers gives it to Brett. Off right tackle. He's got some yardage. Nice play to trip him up. He got to the 24. Stewart with a tackle, but a gain of 4.
First timeout.
And a timeout called by Cathedral. We'll keep it right here. Jim Brinkman, this game has been nothing if not entertaining.
Yeah, and it's really been somewhat well played for the first week of the season. You can tell that both of these teams will probably go deep in their own respective playoffs. The one thing that is important, though, is that the Tigers on their last drive really gave the ball to Brett Metzmeyer, and he was able to just take the ball down the field and score. By the way, a correction on that personal foul, that does not carry an automatic first down. So that's why we actually came up, we thought it was a first down automatically, and it was important to get in there on that 4th down.
Yep.
Megan Stearman did have a photo of Jack Albers being over the goal line on 3rd down, but,
Took a little more time to score the second.
But, that's a rule change that I think we need, Tony. If it's a personal foul, I don't care if it's half the distance from the 1 yard line to the 1.5 yard line. It should be an automatic first down.
And this is where you have to rely on that big offensive line here to turn. You need 4 here, 3 the next time, and keep doing it.
2nd down and 6 from the 24. This is a big down. Wow, they almost jumped off sides. Tigers say they did, but no call. Will Wolford in the ear of this official on the sideline. That would have been huge. Albers takes a snap. Giving to Metzmeyer, nothing there. Fights his way for a yard to the 25. Cathedral will use another timeout with 2:45 to
came
play.
In there, John.
That's in the area of
it's either holding or a face mask. Let's see.
It's a personal foul, face mask against the defense.
I thought Metzmeyer looked like he kind of jerked the wrong way, and that's going to be huge right there. The 15-yard. Oh, I always say that, but personal foul is going to be 15 yards.
Yeah, that's
correct
15.
me if I'm wrong.
When you only need 6, and they give you 15, that is an automatic first down.
Yes, sir, and that's a huge play too.
Wow.
And the other side of that is, even if the Tigers give the ball up now, they'll move the ball out of field position. So if they have to give it up in 3 more plays or 4 plays, at least you can flip the field and make it a longer. But the offensive line keep doing their job because you know what Cathedral's doing. They're selling out up front.
If you're Jack Albers, take your 25 seconds here because the clock is moving. No, do not snap the football.
He's not, John.
Oh, he's scaring me, Coach.
He's sitting there looking, and he's going to watch the back judge and see when he raises his hand. Knows he has 5 seconds from that.
Clock ticks under 2.5 to play here. 1st and 10 Tigers at their own 40.
And he just raised it.
Albers takes a snap, gives it to Brett, running right, not much there. In fact, nothing there. Push backwards at the 39, and Coach Strife calls his 2nd timeout with 2:15 to play. One more first down ends it, but if the Tigers don't get a first down, Cathedral will get a chance.
How about putting it in Metzmeyer's belly and maybe Albers keeping it?
Ugh. Dangerous.
No, but I'm not saying a dangerous play. I'm just saying a little, change of direction where you're making everybody sell on Metzmeyer. What are they doing right now? They're selling on Metzmeyer. A safe play is just for a quick fake, and then, the little read just up the field, and Albers will protect the ball. They need to tell him that.
Simon Kenton, who the Tigers played in a scrimmage last week, beat Meade County tonight 47-13. Trinity final over Carmel 31-3 tonight over at on Shelbyville Road. Impressive win for the Shamrocks, Tony.
Yeah, they're a good football team. They went up and handled Ryle, who some of the people thought Ryle might be a sleeper here in the state. Well, it's hard to tell, but this early in the year. And you know what? A lot of people are learning a lot about their football teams this time of year. Some things you think you're strong at, you might not be. Teams show your weaknesses, and you can find your strengths. But right now, the strengths for the Tigers have been Brett Metzmeyer with the football and that big offensive line.
2nd and 11 here. I kind of agree with you here. They're going to be keying on Brett Metzmeyer.
Just pull it out. Just run with it. Tell him to protect it. If you got to go down, you go down. But I just think right now they're going to follow 9 guys that are up in there, or 8 who's not out with the receiver is going after Brett Metzmeyer. Watch out there. Watch our replay.
So 2 to the right, 1 to the left.
We ever said that before?
No.
Like everybody up.
And Metzmeyer's wide left, but he'll traipse his way back into the backfield.
Could you have guts to throw it out there?
No. 2nd and 11. Metzmeyer takes a snap, gives it to Metzmeyer. Up the middle, falling forward across the 40 to about the 43, a gain of 4.
Nice gain. Right in between the tackles.
3rd down and 7, 2:08 to play, and
it's the last one.
Cathedral uses their final timeout. So it's 3rd and 7, Tony. You don't have to get a first down, but you certainly would love to.
Well,
what's the play?
A first down pretty much to me ends the game. We saw what Cathedral did there. There was 2 receivers to the right. They put 2 guys out there, and then they put 9 guys in the box. There was 9 guys within 3-4 yards of the ball. I don't think you have the guts to throw it.
No.
I don't. You know, you're a gunslinger if you do that, and if it doesn't work, they run you out of the stadium. The other side of it is I really think you put it in Metzmeyer's belly and let Albers keep it, because I think that's a safe play, but it gives a different look. And all you need is that one little gap to get a first down, and Albers is a good runner.
Chase Ferris looks like he's walking very gingerly. Still in the game, but he's walking around the huddle there. And
it's a big man at 6'5", 320.
Looks like he is...
he's taking his time.
Well, it's hot. It's humid out there.
These guys have played a lot of plays on that line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 7. Metzmeyer and Zoller to the left of Albers. Jack takes a snap. Option left, pitches to Metzmeyer. That was dangerous. Cuts into the 50, to the 40. He's going to go to foot race, and he is caught from behind at the 14-yard line. But as long as he hangs on to the football, it doesn't matter. And the Tigers went outside that time, sealed it off. Great call.
Whoever's the wide receiver, and if there's a replay, I'm going to tell you who it was. But that's a gutsy call, because when you pitch it, you're letting go of the football, and if it doesn't go the way you want it to, bad things can happen. But you know what? It does not matter.
Hugh Davis saved the touchdown at the 14-yard line, but give Metzmeyer a huge gain to add to those numbers. Tigers, I'm assuming they're in victory formation. They certainly are not. I'm not sure why not.
I think they're going to run one, John.
1:40 to play. Handed to Metzmeyer up the middle. Just hang on to the football and fall down. You'll be fine. Gets to the
take your time.
Back to the line of scrimmage.
That should do it, shouldn't it? Calculate it for me.
Now you got 25 seconds 3 times, so not quite, but it's the referee's taking his time. He's helping. 1:13 to go. I think you're going to run it.
I think you run a
one more
quarterback
time
sneak.
here.
I don't snap it back here. I get under center right now.
Maybe run to the right to take some clock off and then just go down in bounds.
I just don't like snapping at 5 yards.
6 has been good at it all night long. Albers keeps it up the middle and goes down at about the 11-yard line. Nice run from Jack Albers. They fake the jet sweep. And that will do it. You're under 50. They haven't blown it in play, and the Tigers can now take a knee and get out of here with a victory over a very talented opponent.
Well, you got to take one knee here. The Tigers have to go up.
And you wait till it's under 25, you take your knee, and then you shake hands.
Nice to see victory formation on the first game of the season.
It certainly is. And it'll be a fun off week after you get a victory. Albers takes a knee. That'll do it. 35-28, Tigers win it. We'll be back with the Eye Care Institute post-game report and hear from the head coach of the Tigers, Will Wolford. You're listening to St. X High School Football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
You've been listening to the St. X Tigers and Jefferson County High School Football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. This season's live play-by-play coverage is sponsored by the Eye Care Institute. Call St. X grad Dr. Brennan Green at 589-1500 or visit the website at eyecareinstitute.com. Knights Travel. Fly by Nights. It's the best way to travel. Courier Journal. The Courier Journal. Now with expanded high school sports coverage. Sundays in print and at courier-journal.com. DFH. Call Don, Chris, or Alex Hinkabod at 968-6222 for all heating and cooling needs. St. X High School.
Cal's up 28-0 now.
28-7.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's solid.
4712. St. X High School. This is where you start. Events LLC.
Yeah, with 3:17 left.
Tailored to your event. From setup to takedown, we'll make your event extraordinary. Bissig Impact Group.
I'll sing the song with him.
Innovative.
Al wants to know where everybody's going.
The Eye Care Institute post-game wrap-up
Where
is
are we
next
going?
on
I don't
the
know.
Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
They're not going to want to go stand in the parking lot over at Fruxer.
Like seeing young athletes succeed. With this in mind, the
Tom sit out, started at Old Hick, ending at Old Hick. Who's in?
Sports Health. We're honoring
Sluggers at
athletes
Old
of the week
Hickory.
for Southern Indiana and Metro Louisville all season long, naming all area teams for more than a dozen sports, and capping off the year with a red carpet banquet in June. Vote for this week's Athlete of the Week at the CourierJournal.com sports page.
Are we going over there? Checks will be closed.
Unless somebody's playing.
Pat Younger's playing.
Area for over 40 years.
And it might be open.
Jefferson
Yeah,
Special
they're there
Police has
tonight. I don't know
become
how late they'll
Louisville's
play them.
largest contract security firms, providing a full range of services.
You tell them to check
From
checks.
unarmed guards, T-shirt security, crowd control, to ticket takers, ushers, and valet parking attendants. No event is too big or too small. Jefferson Special Police can handle it all. For more information, contact Jefferson Special
Heck, we can go over to
Police
Terry's
at
house for all I care.
Well, she's throwing darts. She said, I'm staying in, I'm throwing darts.
Or visit us online at jeffersonspecial.com.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
Thanks
it
very much.
Jumping
Thanks, Bill.
in the air on the Super Quad Bungee.
Oh, it was
running
Bill, wasn't
across
it?
the Big
Man, I
Baller
thought it was him.
Obstacle Course, or conquering
Hit
Brutus, the
200,
Mechanical Bull.
3
Michigan
yards.
family-owned
I
and
need this.
operated.
I got to call
Louisville
WXVW before we
specializes
leave
in
here.
school and church functions, festivals, and
Albert
fairs.
Metzmeyer had
Offering
163
inflatables of all
according
shapes
to
and
that.
sizes while
155
being
according to
clean,
that.
safe, insured, and state
I always look
inspected. Stop at
We had him for
Madison
more than that, I
Call
think.
What'd you have him for, Todd?
502-379-0876
160 something?
Or book online
180?
at
Yeah.
LouisvilleInflatables.com, where laughter adds to life. Louisville Inflatables.
28
We'll give him
carries.
180.
On your favorite team,
28
ready
carries,
to tackle that large job or weekend project? Sunbelt Rentals has the equipment you need. From hand tools to excavators, we've got you covered. And with more than 525 locations, we're
All
sure
right.
to have one convenient
Thank
to
you all.
Whether you're a do-it-yourselfer
I'll
or
give him
contractor,
180 if that's
you
what
can
Todd
rely
is.
on the experts at Sunbelt Rentals. Call 1-800-NO-SWEAT or visit
Step
sunbeltrentals.com
203.
for a location nearest you.
Alberts was 12
So
for
what are you waiting
17 for
for?
165.
What was he at
Rent it
halftime?
now.
7 for 10?
There are a few
So he
things
was
that
5 for
truly
7 in the
inspire,
second half.
like seeing young athletes succeed. With this in mind, we created the Courier Journal Sports Awards.
That's first
We're
quarter.
honoring
Where's my
athletes
half?
of
Oh,
the
there's my
week from Metro
halftime.
Louisville
He was
and
7 for
Southern
10 at
Indiana
half.
all
Oh, he was
season
5
long,
for 7 in the
naming
second
all
half.
area teams for over 2 dozen
We still,
sports,
I
and
hate to say
capping off the
this,
year
we
with
still
a
don't
red
throw it
carpet
enough.
award show with a celebrity guest
I
speaker.
mean, Metzmeyer was great.
This season,
We just don't
nominated
throw it
over
enough.
Athletes of the
We
Week
got guys that
at
can catch it, too.
CourierJournal.com.
Where's Jim at? No, he's down there.
Planning an event
I'm sorry,
for
Jim.
thousands?
I guess I should have waited to go to break.
Designers are available
These
to
breaks
provide
are so
custom
long here,
production
Jan.
and creative design services to coordinate your perfect
They're
event.
asking him
Hosting a
questions, so
smaller
that's
gathering? Try their rental, installation, and delivery services. Events
He's
LLC
standing there
has
with wheels
everything
going like
needed
this.
to facilitate your next
come on.
event. Their 66,000 square foot warehouse is filled
This is
with
the last
props,
break.
linens, dance floors, and
This is the last
anything else
commercial.
you can think
Do
of.
what?
Right to you, Jimmy. Hold on to it.
5007
Okay.
or visit eventsllc.com.
This is the Eye Care Institute post-game wrap-up on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network. Once again, here are John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, and Todd Powers.
Back at Brother Thomas More Stadium, John, Tony, Jim, and Todd. And let's head down to Jim Brinkman right now. He's with the head coach. Jim?
All right, Coach, your impression, that first win of the year.
Great win, obviously, to beat a team of their caliber. I mean, they have 6 D1 players in their senior class. Underclassmen are pretty good as well. The sophomore quarterbacks they played, that was a little bit of a difference. We did a nice job getting enough pressure on them to keep them at bay. Obviously, their running back is, he's the real deal, and then some. Just proud of the way we played. We kept fighting. They made a comeback. You knew they would. They're too talented not to. They're too well coached. They have such a great tradition up there. It was a big win all the way around.
Talk about Brett Metzmeyer. Unofficially, about 26 carries, about 160 yards.
Yeah, and I tell you what, he got a whole lot of those after contact. He is he's a strong kid. He suffered injuries last year. He finally healed up along this offseason. And his senior year was special for him. He works as hard as any of them. And it was nice to see him show up and show out. Was he as good as the other guy? Probably not. But he's a damn good football player, and he's a tough kid. It was fun to see him work.
What are you going to do on your week off?
The freshman JV play Trinity next week, so we're going to get prepared for that game. We're going to enjoy it. Believe me, we can always get better. We're very young on defense. A lot of those kids were playing their first varsity game ever, so they're only going to get better. And we go too deep on defense, so more than half of them gained a lot of experience tonight, and we'll only get better from it. And the same thing on offense. I mean, we're deep on offense, but a lot of kids didn't play last year.
All right, that was Coach Will Wilford there, wrapping up the 35-28 St. X win over the Fighting Irish of Cathedral.
I thought Jim was going to say Notre Dame there, Tony. We'll take one more break, come back, look at the final numbers, and hand out a couple of awards. 35-28 Tigers win it. You're listening to St. X High School football on the Bissig Impact Sports Radio Network.
Do you need to go outside your house to cool down? Does staying in bed make you feel like you have swamp fever? You don't have to wait.
All right, Tony.
Is Alan going? Is Alan going out?
I haven't heard back from him. He texted that Deborah was finished with dinner. So.
If not,
DFH Defensive Play of the Game. I can't even think of one, really.
Ask DFH about their expert service team.
We didn't have any fumble repair. Let's just skip that one.
Call DFH
yeah, I can't think of anything.
Impact Play of the Game.
Or visit dfhcompany.com for complete
the fumble.
eligibility, dates, details,
recovered.
Yeah, that he recovered his own
St. X
fumble.
fans,
Absolutely.
Want to learn more
Good
about
call.
how your eyes work? It's time you visit the Eye Care Institute.
That's great.
That's
Again
even
this
better.
year, Dr. Brennan Green has been named a top doc by Louisville Magazine. Dr. Green and the doctors at the Eye Care Institute.
Well, if
can
Alan
meet
doesn't
all
go,
your
let's just
vision
go over to
needs.
Tim
For
Tam
more
parking lot.
information,
Yeah.
or to schedule an appointment with
Just
Dr.
tell-
Green
I
at
said
the Eye Care
checks.
Institute.
Pat Younger's
Visit
playing.
eyecareinstitute.com.
I mean,
or
if
call
not, just tell Slugger we're just going to go
589-1500.
over
That's
tailgate.
589-1500.
Are you thinking of taking a cruise or quick weekend escape?
I mean, anywhere we
Knights
go, there's
Travel
going to be
can
nothing
meet all
going
your
on.
travel needs.
Yeah.
Knights Travel is Louisville's premier full-service travel agency specializing in customized vacation. For more information, visit knightstravel.com or contact St. X alum Lou Conklin at 292-4750 or Kaylin Ryback at 292-4749. Fly by Knights. It's the best way to travel.
Let's see, I need to replace the microwave, so I'll stop by Bargain Supply. We need a new shovel and garden gloves. I'll get those at Bargain Supply. Oh, and light bulbs. Bargain Supply
Tim
for
Tam
those
not
too.
being open
Well, this
kind
should
of
be an
messes.
easy trip.
I mean,
Bargain Supply
for
has
other people, not for
60,000
us.
square feet of
Yeah.
merchandise, so you can
Other people
find
don't want to
and
stand in
save
a
on
parking lot,
everything you
bunch of
need in
parents.
one easy stop. Save on appliances, electronics, tools, and more at Bargain Supply, 844 East Jefferson in Nulu, downtown Louisville.
Back at St. X to wrap things up, John Spears, Tony Burke, Jim Brinkman, and Todd Powers.